All right. Hello. Welcome to the very first episode of the Paper Dungeon. We're so excited to finally be here. It's been quite a long journey trying to get here. A lot of prep, a lot of people that we've worked with. And so we're super excited to finally be here and getting to do our first stream. I shouldn't say our first stream, but the first episode of the Paper Dungeon with all 7 of us and everybody here. Before we get too far into it, we do want to go ahead and start thanking people that helped us get to this point. So we'll start with Aaron, if he wants to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure thing. The first person that we'd like to thank is, we know them as Pocket Chicken. You can find them as @PocketSpectre on Twitter. They're the person that did all of our art, all of our incredible portraits for our characters.
So good. Oh my gosh.
They were super incredible working with us. They even sped up our art a little bit just to make sure that we would be there in time for our first, like when we needed it and all that. Check them out. Give them money. I recommend it. It's great.
Yeah, 100%. Someone else that we want to thank is Tactical Line Designs. Those are the guys that we work with to do all of our overlays and make this beautiful, gorgeous maroon and gold overlay. It's so much better than what we could have tried to come up with on our own. And they did an amazing job of making it very customizable for us to kind of adapt and evolve as we go, which is super, super nice of them and super friendly. And they did an excellent job of responding quickly and everything like that. So definitely go check out Tactical Line Designs. If you guys are looking to start your own stream or anything like that, definitely great people to work with. Also, Aaron and I want to thank the rest of our cast. This cast is kind of amazing, and they allowed this to become so much more than anything that we could have made it just ourselves. Lydia does an amazing job with all the graphic designs, and basically anything that you can see that's pretty, she probably did. She came up with our logo and everything like that. She's an amazing job. Hannah has educated us so much on what it takes to make a stream look good and run well. And she edits our podcast and the audio, and she figures everything out. And she's one of our go-to people for whenever something needs to get done. And then Grant and Drew have been working so tirelessly. It's super, super hard to create our theme song and just make a lot of the audio background music. They do an amazing job, along with Drew, managing the stream and running the stream as he's playing, because he's just that talented, which is super amazing. And then Ryan does all of our voiceover stuff. In the intro, that's him. All of our reviews will be him. All of our summaries will be done by him. And so super, super amazing. This cast is by far way more than we deserve to make it, or deserve to have. And we're so thankful for all of them, along with everyone else that's helped us, Pocket Chicken and Tactical Line Designs. So we're super, super thankful to have everybody here, and super thankful to the fans that are already here and the people that are already following along. We love doing this for you guys, and we're super excited that you guys are here with us, especially right now as we start out on what's hopefully going to be a pretty long journey. And so we look forward to you guys sticking with us, and we look forward to making this content for you guys. Yeah, awesome. Does anybody else have something that they want to say before we get started, before anything goes on?
I mean, I think I'm all good.
I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say something.
Yeah, go for it, Grant.
Yeah, hi, Grant DeFore. I play Edward on the cast. No, but yeah, for a long time now, ever since probably March, we've had this idea in the stream, and we've been working really hard for a long time. So thanks to Hannah and Lydia for coming on the cast with all of us bozos who have played together for years. Absolutely. And yeah, we've worked very hard for a long time, and I can't believe that it's finally time to start. So 100%. We're all, I think I speak for everyone to say we're all a little nervous and all very excited.
Yeah.
Just
anything else?
Maybe a lot nervous. One point that I feel I should make as the tech guy, if you guys are interested and haven't watched any of the solo or group shots, most of those can be found on Podbean. Right now on Twitch, we have most everything up, or YouTube. So check those places out.
They're
100%.
Also on our website, www.thepaperdungeon.com.
Yeah, shameless self-plug.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, if nobody else has anything that they want to say, let's go ahead and get started with the very first episode of Paper Dungeon. All right.
Welcome to Nico Muris. A world full of sprawling cities and dark secrets. In the wake of the trial, a divine act of righteous judgment, the world has been launched into an era of rebirth. But there are those who still lust for darkness and ruin. Follow us across the continent of Talyra, from the deserts of Elon Ryan to the fields of Rivaluna. Deep in the Bloomrose Ocean and high above the Alisar Mountains, our story will see our adventurers through glory, fear, and fortune as they make their way through the Paper Dungeon.
All right. So our story starts in a couple places. Our protagonists have been making their way through this country of Talyra to the continent, or not that continent, the country of Oclaron, specifically into the capital city of Athala. They've been making their way there. We will start just north of that in the forests of Vianola, as Melora, Havel, and Kathyr have been taking refuge in a pretty shallow cave as they waited out a pretty nasty storm. As you guys awaken after taking your different watches and taking your different shifts, you look out past the cave and can see debris, you can see fallen timber, there's leaves everywhere, there's dirt everywhere, there's quite a bit of random twigs and just little things, little pieces of the forest that are scattered about. And as you wake up, it is a cool, crisp morning. The grass is still wet between the storm and the dew, and you guys awake to a nice, fresh morning.
I'm going to double check and make sure that everything is still in place, including my coin purses.
Yeah, you go in, you look through, and all of your stuff is still there.
I'm going to make sure that Ginger is still with me.
Yep, Ginger's still there, nestled into your pocket as she normally is.
I'm going to rustle and kind of rustle her awake and just kind of make sure that she knows I'm about to get up. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, all right, we should get moving.
So early.
Well, we have a long ways to go.
Aye, we do. We should get started.
I suppose. I creak my old bones and get up.
I put my arrows on my back and I get just my pack ready to go.
Yeah, as Melora is throwing this quiver with all of her arrows over the gold filigree on the top of it, just ever so catches the light and glimmers for just a moment. Kathyr and Havel, you notice.
What does it look like exactly?
It's probably about 3 feet long, kind of a dark green, almost smooth material that it's made out of, with gold filigree up towards the top opening of it that kind of comes out into a little horn.
Okay. Quite an interesting instrument you got there.
Aye.
Is there a story behind it, or you just
found it in the cave, actually?
Ah, yes, taking weapons.
It looked much better than my old one. It was just brown and leaves weaved together, so I quite like the look of it.
Well, taking weaponry from a place that burned an ancient book isn't necessarily the brightest idea, but I'm not going to judge
They're
you too
my
much
own
on it.
weapons, thank you very much.
Nice.
Just the quiver that holds them.
Sure.
Gotcha there.
Well, if you two are done bantering, I think we can start going.
Perfectly fine. Let's go then.
Alrighty then. And I start leading the way.
Perfect. You begin heading back towards the road that you guys left in order to find this cave, at which point you can see that the road is pretty washed through. It looks like there was a pretty decent amount of water that came down in the last night. And so you can see there's ruts along the side of it that have been formed. It seems like there have been one or two people that either were traveling through the storm or have already gotten an even earlier morning than you guys. As you can see, that there's cart tracks going through the mud just ever so deep. But as you guys begin making your way through, it's dry enough that you're not picking up too much mud on your boots, so it's not like getting exhausting to be walking through. But you guys begin making your way through and traveling along this road. After a little while, probably about half a day, the forest line breaks and you guys come across a field that's probably about 100 yards or so before you can see the northern side of the Lunankona Mountains rising up ahead of you. As you look forward, you can see that there are two paths. There's one path that verges off to your right, which is out west, and then there's another path that keeps going basically straight into the mountains.
And if I remember correctly, the one that goes straight is the faster one, but the not so safe, and the one that goes to the left is the one that goes around the pass that takes longer, but it's supposedly more safe.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Going straight would take you through the Ocleron Pass, which is not a protected road as compared to the other roads. And so there's a lot of opportunity for potential thievery or monsters or anything like that to be along that road versus going west, at which point that is a little bit more of a maintained and protected road that goes around the mountains.
All right, I'm going to stop and I'm going to tell them that. And I'm going to kind of say that if you're scared, I suppose we could take the longer route and go around, but I feel perfectly fine going through straight.
I don't know about you, sweetheart, but I think I want to get to Athala as fast as possible. So,
I mean, I could do without going altogether, but consider I have no choice. I would like to get there fast.
what do you think about it, Kathyr? Do you want to continue through the pass, or do you want to go around the mountain?
Well, I know personally, it doesn't make a big difference as far as I know, but if you have a schedule, Havel, then perhaps we can go straight through.
No schedule. I just, I like to get myself out of the forest as soon as possible, don't you think?
Didn't see why, but I understand. And I'd like to look at Kathyr and kind of say, can you at least try not to get yourself killed this time? I'm getting mighty tired of saving you.
I'll do my best.
Right then, weapons at the ready. Come on then.
Yeah.
Very well.
As the sword comes out.
As the bow comes out, Aster.
I don't even pull out my weapon.
Nice, 100%. So you guys go ahead and begin making your way towards the Lunankona Mountains. As you're going through the field, you can see that it's a fairly decent-sized field going out across the way, traveling from expands past your vision as the forest line kind of curves around and connects with the mountain, it seems like. So you guys begin making your way through. It doesn't take long to travel through the field before you begin to ascend uphill into a little bit more of a rockier type of road with fewer plants. And as you're going through the pass, you guys can begin to feel a sense of not necessarily danger, but the immediate both security of having the mountains on either side of you to restrict your pass or restrict the amount of exposure you have, but also this sense of loneliness and singularity, as you are the only people that you can see and the only living things that you can see, aside from the small plants that surround you, as far as you go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Really fast. So I'm on the hind end of the pack.
Yeah.
As soon as we reach and start actually heading into the pass, I'm going to remove the coins from the hooks on my ears, the earrings,
okay.
As well as the necklace, and I'm going to shove them into my boot.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. You definitely do that.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of shelter Ginger further into my pocket because the loneliness may not bother me so much because I'm quite used to it, to be honest with you, but not being in the forest could be a little shocking for her, so I'm just going to kind of like cover her face, so to speak. Unless she wants to come out and be on my shoulder, then I'll let her, but if just kind of shelter her a little bit.
Yeah, you go to shelter her, and she actually kind of puts her paws up on the lip of your pocket and keeps her head out with a look of almost curiosity as she's in a new environment and is wanting to kind of see what's about and what's going on.
All right. I scratch her behind her ears and I keep walking.
Yeah, awesome. As you guys are walking, I would like one of you guys to roll a d4 for me.
Hannah?
I can do it.
I don't trust myself.
Same.
That's a 3.
It's a 3? Fantastic.
We're all gonna die.
So you guys are walking along and going through the pass. It's been a couple hours now. You're feeling a little bit more relaxed as nothing's happened as you went in, and you've begun to kind of enjoy a different type of beauty in the scenery where it's much more of a mountainous, rugged type of beauty where it's amazing to see what little bit of life can form out of such a hostile and rugged terrain. And as you're going a little ways ahead of you, just as the pass kind of curves around, you can hear a faint rumble. And as you look up, you can see what is a few small rocks falling before an entire rock slide goes sliding down the mountain in front of you guys. Not anywhere near you guys at the moment, but you watch as it goes down and around the corner for just a little bit, probably about 5 minutes of these rocks falling. And as you guys continue to approach and come around the corner, you can see that this massive rock slide has completely covered the road and blocked your path.
Does it look like I could climb over it?
Yeah, probably.
I know you're not much of a climber, Kathyr, but if you're comfortable, I wouldn't mind just climbing over the rocks.
I just start making my way over to the boulders.
Yeah.
How tall are they?
There are a variety of sizes. There's anything from, something that you could hold between your two hands all the way to something that's 15 feet in diameter. But as you kind of look up it, you think that you might see kind of a path that you can go kind of scramble up and over.
Okay.
When I'm looking at the mountain, does it look like the rock slide is over or like there could be more?
Go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
Also, DM, real fast, and while this is going on, I'm actively looking at our surroundings, making sure that nothing's following or watching us, by the way.
Okay, go ahead and roll a, why can't I think of it?
Perception.
Perception?
Yes, thank you. That's the word. Thank you. I was thinking investigation, but I knew that was it. Awesome. What did you get, Hannah?
A 14.
Okay. It looks like things are beginning to settle. It doesn't look like there's anything massively out of place that could be teetering on the edge of falling at the moment. So you think that it's probably over?
All right. If I
Okay.
see Kathyr kind of looking at the path, I just start making my way over there as well.
Okay. Where'd you get, Ryan?
I can see everything. I got an 11.
Nice. Yeah, at the moment you don't see any impending danger.
Incredible.
Awesome. What were you gonna say, Drew?
Well, Melora, it seems like there is at least some way to get past these, and I'll start making my way up and scrambling.
Well, lead the way, I suppose.
Okay. Drew, go ahead and roll an athletics check for me.
Will do, Mr. DM, sir. As I cry inside.
Oh.
I roll to catch.
Let's hope for the best here.
What'd you get? 13?
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you
okay.
start making your way up these boulders, and it's some pretty decent scrambling. Some, hardcore 4th class, maybe edging on the verge of 5th class scrambling. If you know what I'm talking about, great for you. But you begin making your way up, and it's pretty difficult. The looser gravel is slipping beneath your feet. You're not feeling pretty confident.
Ah, dude, it's so chossy, bro. It's so chossy.
But you begin making your way through, and you manage to get to the top. And then you look back and you see Melora beginning to make her way, a little annoyed at the pebbles and dirt that's falling on her. Melora. Even better. Now that you've kind of seen the path that he's gone up, you're pretty confident that you know where he probably could have gone that might have been a little bit better, and you kind of know what to look out for. So you begin making your way up, and it's a lot smoother, it's much less sketchy, and you make your way up to the top, meeting Kathyr there at the top.
When I get to the top, I start being a little overdramatic with the way that I pick the pebbles out of my hair.
DM, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way that I could sweet flips my way up this, or very much like a
type of game?
The strong boy. Is it very much a strong boy activity? Is this very athletic?
I would. Sure, go for it. Roll an acrobatics check.
Oh God.
But please describe to me how you're doing this.
So it's like 4th, 5th class scramble. I think I'm just gonna get a running start and try to like pick out like the divots in the rock that are much more grounded than the other ones. Like kind of noticing where they kind of slipped.
Yeah.
I'll try not to aim for those spots.
All right, go for it. Roll an acrobatics check.
That is a 21.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. So where Kathyr began making his way up and being one clad in heavy armor, was slipping and sliding and, going first, figuring out the beta. Then Melora came back, and she then knew the beta, so she was moving her way up and managed to figure out all the little inconsistencies. You, having seen it twice and being one who's fairly nimble on his feet, look at it and gave yourself a little bit of a running start between almost ninja-esque. You just began like bouncing between the boulders going back up, and it took you about 3 seconds to make your way up this as you book your way up there.
As soon as I land, I go, whew, a lot of hard work that we're doing right now.
Well, it seems like you're quite agile.
Aye. I'm still picking the pebbles out of my hair, by the way.
Work smarter, not harder, yeah?
Why just work forward?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Beautiful. I'll have you guys make one group check to make your way down without causing a slide again. Who would like to do that?
Oh, I already rolled.
Okay, roll with advantage.
Are we going for high or low numbers here?
Would I add? I just rolled.
Athletics.
Oh, okay. Alright, that's an 18.
Oh yeah, 100%. You guys having gotten up there and then kind of worked together to spy it out a little bit. You guys make your way down without really having any problems. Emerging on the other side of the Athala Pass.
Nice.
Not on the other side of the pass, but on the other side of this rock slide.
All right. Now, when I'm on this side, can I make a similar check to see if it looks like it's safe to walk through if another rock slide is coming?
Down the mountain, or does it look like this?
Like straight ahead, does it look like,
okay.
If I'm looking at the top of the mountains, does it look like there are rocks and boulders that could fall, or does it look kind of flat in that sense?
Yeah, roll another survival check for me.
That's not very good. 10.
Okay. This way it's a little bit harder to read. It seems like this side wasn't quite as much a part of it. The mountains going forward wasn't quite as much a part of it. So you can see that there's a couple things that look like they could be on the verge, a couple of things that have begun to shift a little bit. But it also doesn't seem like there's necessarily anything that's triggering a slide at the moment. Everything seems to be stable. So you're not 100% sure. But at the moment, there's nothing happening.
I'm going to turn around and I'm going to say, just be careful and watch your step. I think it's safe, but again, this is not really my forte. I live in the forest. And I walk forward and I get my bow ready again.
I'm sure we'll be fine.
Awesome.
Yep. Keep moving forward.
Fantastic. As you guys keep moving forward, you make your way through the rest of the day and begin to feel the chill as the night comes in. Here up in the mountains, you can tell that you're at a little bit of a higher elevation as you have basically been going uphill this whole time. Not at a steep elevation or a steep elevation gain by any means, but you have been making your way uphill. And so it's just a little more chilly as the night sets in. As you're looking forward, you can see that there is one little kind of outcropping that seems to be a common place that people camp. Something that's kind of been smoothed out and it's not quite as uncomfortable looking that you guys can see.
All right, I point it out and I say, well, it's getting dark, so maybe we should camp.
Isn't this place known for bandits?
I mean, I suppose, but...
Do you think being out in the open is the wisest way to go about it?
Do you have a better idea and a better place? I'd be happy to hear it.
Take a look around. Is there anything that I see, DM?
Roll a perception check. I knew what it was that time.
I'm very trash at this. Oh, that's not bad actually. 17?
Okay. Yeah, you're looking about, and there are deviations in the rock. It doesn't seem like there's any big cave. It does look like there might be one or two spots a little bit higher up that might be, fairly flat at a place that you guys could camp that's a little bit further off the road. So there's that, but it doesn't look like there's any specific hidey hole.
Nothing that's like obviously out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I guess we could sleep here. That's fine.
We can sleep in watches. I'll take the first watch if you're so worried about your money.
I'm not worried about my money. I'm worried about our lives. But to each their own.
I suppose.
Kathyr actually chuckles to that.
I'll take the first watch.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
So you guys get your camp set up, begin to get a little bit of a fire going, and then Melora begins to prepare for her first watch. Is there anything else that you guys are going to do before you go to bed?
I'm going to take my rations out. I'm going to give a couple of nuts to Ginger. And for myself as well, but I'll let Ginger take first pick.
Yeah, she takes one or two and begins nomming on them before you have at it with the rest. As this is happening, the sun is just crusting past the mountains, and it gets much darker much quicker now that the sun is beyond the horizon for you guys.
Do I get the feeling that if you're walking around the pass, you could see our fire?
The nice thing about this spot is it's kind of around a bend, and so you can't see too far ahead, and you can't see too far back as it just kind of gets cut out of view by the mountains. And so it would take someone traveling through the night along the path to see you. It's not like someone off in the distance could see you a mile away and be like, okay, we're going to go check that out. It had to be someone that was already on the path looking.
I'll let it die out naturally, but I'm not going to put it out purposely.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Really quick, DM.
Go for it.
Before we go to sleep, so I'm actually going to take oh god. Okay, you know what? Sure, why not? Let's see how this goes. I am going to approach Melora.
Okay.
Cautiously.
Smart choice.
Melora, do you think I could borrow something from you?
Aye, what do you need?
Just one of your arrows.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm going to set an alarm system for us so that way we don't get caught with our pants down.
Here you go.
I take the arrow and I go to around the bend again. I'm going to take some of the string, and it's a boulder field, right? They're like rocks pretty close together. Is there something I can like wedge the arrow to?
Yeah, you could definitely makeshift something.
Okay, so I'm going to attach a small bell to the arrow. I'm going to wedge the arrow in between some rocks loosely, and then run the string to the arrow, like attaching it to like the arrowhead, and run the string across very low.
Yeah.
And create a tripwire, so that way if someone were to set it off, we'd hear the bell, the arrow would get pulled, and we'd hear the bell.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Okay.
All right. And on my watch, I know we're surrounded by large rocks, but are there any small ones that I could potentially shape into arrowheads?
Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Wow, she's going real primitive.
Aye.
She uses all of her resources.
That's an 18.
Oh, yeah. You find several pieces. A lot of it is actually flint, which works out well for making arrowheads. And so, yeah, you managed to find 3 or 4 smaller pieces of flint that you think would make good arrowheads.
So on my watch, obviously, I'm looking around, but I'm also shaping them to a point to make arrowheads.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else that you guys are going to do before you go to bed, Kathyr or Havel?
No, I set up the trap and then I...
Okay.
Who's taking second watch? I need to sleep too.
No, you don't.
Thank you, Kathyr.
Awesome. With that, Kathyr and Havel go to bed. Melora, would you go ahead and roll a perception check for me?
Aye. 24.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Super rad. Yeah, you go throughout the night. Your first 4 hours or so, as you guys go through, seem to go by without anything that you notice. You make good progress on a couple of the arrowheads, going through and getting a couple of them finished. And as you can tell, the 4th hour is coming in, you begin to get fairly tired. It's time to switch out watches.
All right, I'm going to make a final look around, make sure that I really didn't see anything, and then I'm going to go nudge Kathyr awake. Maybe a little more, not so gentle as it could be, but I'm going to kind of start at his foot and just kind of use my leg and be like, Kathyr.
Awesome.
I'd like to go to bed, please.
All right, I got this. As I take out my sword and use it to prop myself up.
Awesome.
Take a look around.
Perfect. Yeah. As Melora goes to bed, go ahead and roll a perception check. While he's doing that, is there anything you want to do before you fall asleep, Melora?
I'm going to make sure that my stuff is secure in my bag. I'm going to put the arrowheads that I made in my bag. When I find extra sticks to attach them to, then I'll do that then. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to offer to Ginger both my shoulder or my lap. I mean, this is not a place I like to sleep usually, so I'm going to kind of prop myself up against the wall as if I'm sleeping in a tree. Yeah. And I'm going to tell Ginger, I'm going to say it now, I know you like to sleep with Kathyr. If you're going to do it, please tell me first so I don't freak out like last time.
At the moment, she goes from your shoulder down to your lap and curls down in your lap.
Good girl. And I go to bed.
Perfect. What'd you get in your perception check, Drew?
21.
21? Yeah. You're going through... perfect. You're going through and you stick about your nights debating different things, thinking about many of the reasons that you're here and why you've been traveling, the new situation that you're in with these sometimes challenging people to be around.
Yep. Really just one challenging person.
And you go through, and before you realize it, you can see the dawn beginning to rise over the edge of the horizon. It begins to heat up just a little bit as it was fairly chilly, and morning arrives.
Nice. All right. Well, yeah, I'll just kind of sit up and stretch out for a moment, as I've probably been sitting still for a long time now. and I will go over to Havel first. And I'll just kind of lean down and just kind of shake his shoulder loosely. It's like, hey, Havel, it's time for us to get going again.
By the veil, Jesus Christ!
You said, are you all right?
Sorry, I was having the strangest dream. I had these. There were these people. I like start looking around. Havel just like glances around, looks at you, and goes, "By the gods, it's real."
Stupid.
Right. So I'm gonna wake up Mother Bear now. So be careful.
Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Yep.
And I will make my way over, and lightly pet Ginger just a little bit, and then tap Melora just on the side of her arm.
I'm going to instinctively go to twist his arm without knowing. I'm going to instinctively go to like restrain him because I think I'm being attacked, and then I'm going to see who it is, and I'm going to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, that was my bad." And I'm going to start getting up.
It's all right. We're in a dangerous place. It's okay to be on the defense.
As you begin to get up, Ginger, before you quite can sit up, she jumps off your lap and then scuttles up Kathyr's boot and sits on his shoulder.
I try not to be offended by that.
Yeah, the squirrel likes me too.
And I take that in for a second, and I'm like,
I look down and from my pack, my rations, I just take off a small little nibble of some of my rations and offer it to her.
She takes it and begins munching into it, her cheeks filling very quickly.
I start getting up. And I look at Ginger. and I'm going to say, are you traveling on his shoulder all day today?
She keeps nodding.
All right, then. And I start walking out.
I will follow behind.
I don't follow. I'm going to go pick up my tripwire.
Nice.
I go pick up my tripwire, recover the arrow.
No, was the tripwire in front of us or behind us?
Behind us. It was behind us.
Just Melora and Kathyr are walking and just
like,
fall over.
I go recover. I double check my coin purse while I'm out of sight from them. And I reach into my boot. Are the coins still there?
Coins are still there.
Okay. I recover the tripwire and okay. I'm going to, I just go back. Melora.
Aye.
I toss her the arrow. Catch.
Thank you kindly. I catch it and I put it back into my quiver.
Well then, guess we have a long ways to go.
I suppose we do.
All right. Yep. Come on.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what you mean. And I just continue walking.
I start walking.
You keep making your way through the pass, and it continues uphill for a good little while before eventually you get to be. You come around this bend and around another bend, going right and then left, cresting quite a steep hill, the steepest hill that you guys have gotten up. And as you crest that hill, you can see the mountains kind of open up just a little bit. You still have quite a good ways of downhill travel to go, but you can open up the mountains, and in front of you, you can see this vast plain. Off to your right, there is several fields that look like they have been tilled and farmed with a variety of different vegetables. You can see corn and soybeans. It looks like a lot of low-growing plants, possibly potatoes or zucchini, a variety of different vegetables, and you can even see there's a little small vineyard off the very far on the very far right side before it gets cut off by the mountain view. And you look down and you can see this winding path, probably another 17 miles or so that you have to go before it comes around and the path splits. And there's one part that goes out right, which is west for you guys, and then a path that continues through the farmland out into the horizon.
Now, do I know after this point which path is the fastest? Is it still the straight one, or is this a little different and I haven't made it this far over or known about it?
So you've never really gone past the Ocleron Pass, really never really even leaving Vianola.
Right.
And so you're not entirely sure, but you'd have heard stories of Athala, the city in the mountain. And you can see at this road that after the 17 or so miles down the path, you can see that the road that continues straight goes off into the horizon versus the road that goes out right. It cuts off because of the mountain. So you could probably assume that way is going towards Athala.
All
yes,
right.
Ryan.
I was just gonna say, if we're at all lost, if I do remember correctly, I have a map.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yes, you do.
All right. Now, does it look like there are people working the fields?
It's kind of hard to tell. They're all really, really small, but you can see one or two, not one or two, but several dots around. You can see that there's what looks like little playhouses basically on the corner of each of these lots. Some of them much larger, some of them much smaller, some of them very rectangular, stuff like that. A large variety of different colors and shapes and sizes to this farmland. And you can see just a few people either not tilling a field, but like harvesting some of the food or going through. Like I've said before, it is getting to be point of fall where the harvest is beginning to be brought in. So they're going through and maintaining their crops and checking them for when the harvest could be.
All right. Yeah. I kind of adjust my quiver. I'm like, great, more people. And I say, all right, we've got a little bit longer to go, and then we'll be in your precious city.
What's the distance to Athala, roughly?
To Athala?
Are you asking?
From checking the fork on my map and kind of using the legend I assume that my map has.
Yeah.
How far away is Athala from where we're at?
From where you're at, as you're about halfway through the Ocleron Pass, it looks like you probably have probably about 18 miles to go.
Oh, so technically could do that in the day if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
If we wanted to.
If we wanted to.
Aye.
Well, I was just going to ask if we have a long travel. Are any of you hungry?
What did you have in mind?
Well, we could probably stop by one of these houses. I'm pretty persuasive. Figure out if they'd be willing to, in exchange for something, provide some food. I'm running low on rations myself.
Looking ahead, I don't know if I explained this well. The 17 miles you have to go are still through the mountains. You're only about halfway through the pass, and then right at the end of those 17 miles is where that fork is. And if you continue straight, is where all that farmland is in front of the mountains.
I assumed we were at the farmlands.
No. I'm sorry. I should have explained that better. Yeah, you still have a good ways to go through the pass.
Well, never mind then. I'm speaking out of my ass. Let's continue.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect. You guys begin making your way downhill. Yes, Drew?
I was just going to say, as I think at this point, Kathyr would be in the back of the group, likely with Havel.
Are you sure about that?
Well, if Havel has the map, I'm sure he's leading.
Are you sure about that?
Regardless of where Kathyr is at this point, who knows? I know, clearly. Could I make sure to keep an eye out behind us, though?
Yeah.
As we travel.
What's your passive perception?
So passive, 13.
Yeah. 13? Okay, great.
It's okay.
I passed the map. Oh, I was just going to say I passed the map off to Melora, and I go, you know how to read, don't you?
I do.
Wonderful.
And I start leading, but as I'm looking, I'm not so much like map in my face, relying on it. It's more like a reference every now and again. And I'm also kind of making sure to look around that I don't see anyone else approaching us. And my passive is 16.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's pretty easy to follow the map as there's really only one path that you can go on for the next several miles. And so it's pretty easy. You figure that you're about halfway through the Ocleron Pass, and so you kind of know where you're at and where you're going. It makes it pretty easy. And as you're looking ahead, you can see there's a couple parties that look like they're a little ways ahead of you, traveling the same direction that you are.
How far ahead are they?
It looks like there's one that's probably 10 miles or so, and then there's one that's just about to get to the fork.
All right. I'd like to inconspicuously start walking a little slower.
What?
I didn't want to catch up with them.
For the first time ever, Kathyr passes Melora.
As does Havel, because this entire time Havel has been producing Mage Hand and then like rolling a coin across the Mage Hand. Like he's practicing his dexterity with the Mage Hand.
Yes.
So
Melora, are you right there? You seem to be slowing down just a little bit.
Oh, just my calves.
Right. Okay.
Are you injured? Do you need us to stop?
No, I'm all right.
Are you sure?
I'm all right. We could just keep going and catch up to the other people. Or we could walk a little slower and not.
So, let me ask, what do you have against people?
What do you mean? I don't have anything against people.
Yeah, well, you're very bad at hiding the fact that you're slowing down because there are people ahead of us.
Well,
so...
if I were to say that this is the longest conversation I've had with a person that is not ginger in over 10 years, would that tell you anything you need to know about me?
Not at all. I want to hear more.
Well, I'm not going to tell you anymore. I'm going to keep walking.
That's a shame. Well, pick up the pace then.
All right. I start walking the same pace as before.
Or you can walk slower and Kathyr and I can continue forward and you can get that burning sensation once more, yeah? Those are your options, I suppose.
Aye, they are. Thank you for reminding me. And I start walking and I start walking, but maybe I start walking the right speed, see if he's distracted by his little coin and stop to try to trip him.
Yeah, go ahead and...
I am looking down at the Mage Hand, yes. I would be looking down at the Mage Hand.
Ryan, roll a perception check, and Hannah, roll an acrobatics check.
This is gonna go horribly for me.
That's a 23.
Oh, fuck.
That, my friends, is an 8.
you're going forward, and Ryan, you're starting to get pretty good at this. You're starting to kind of figure out what it feels like to really that mage hand. I'm kind of getting almost a sense of touch through the mage hand, which is kind of new to you. And as you're going through, you're kind of feeling around, and then your face is in the dirt, and you don't really know what happened.
And I take a moment to say, "Oh, sorry about that," and I keep walking. I might giggle to myself and to Ginger.
Kathyr just looks down at Havel. just kind of.
Havel just lays there.
Do you want a hand there, friend?
I stick up a finger. I'm okay.
Are you sure your face is in the ground?
I've had it coming to me for a while now, honestly.
All right. And I'll just kind of slowly keep moving forward. That way, Melora doesn't get too far away.
As soon as they get out of earshot, I sit up, and I kind of just look to the skies, and I go, "Listen, if you're watching, I might have a request in the coming future. Maybe. So keep an eye out." Nice.
Goodness.
Get up, and I keep walking.
After this fiasco, you stand up, dust the dust off of yourself, and try and get your fairly nice clothes back to a presentable amount of cleanliness.
They were brand new.
They were brand new, dude. It sucks.
As we're walking, I kind of try and catch up to Melora, and just casually just say, if you want, we don't have to interact with anyone else.
I would very much prefer that. Thank you.
I'll just kind of look back and see Havel just taking his sweet time.
I didn't look back.
No, I'm nicer than that. Yes? We can continue now. I stay at least 60 feet behind them.
That's probably wise.
Yeah, okay. You guys begin making your way down the hill, down the slope as you begin going. And it's pretty easy to, not pretty easy, but it's just a long journey, as you can see how far you need to go, and it takes forever to feel like you guys have made any progress. And just as it's beginning to get dark is when you guys are just now reaching that fork. Pretty tired, pretty exhausted, not really feeling like moving forward, but you know that you're pretty close, so you could push it.
How close is the nearest one of those farmhouses?
The nearest farmhouse is probably about a mile away. As you guys approach the fork, you can look out left and see all the farmhouses in front. And as you look around right, you can see what looks to be about a 20-foot tall wall cresting out of the edge of the mountain, with another wall even higher than that comes a little bit further in as you look about probably what looks like a cave several hundred feet high, with the city being built into it and emerging from it, realizing that that's the entrance to that city is probably just about as close as one of those farmhouses.
Well, I've never seen something like that before.
Nor have I.
I've never seen before. I, in fact, am blind. I just start wandering into the pole.
Well, what do you want to do?
I think Kathyr is actually laughing right now.
As you guys look forward, you can see that there is a sign that says farmland and Oclaron to the left, and then Athala to the right.
Well, we don't want to go to Oclaron.
Well, if this map is
technically you're in Oclaron.
If this map is correct, then we only have about another mile till we're to the city.
I suppose I can go with that. Havel?
Well, yes. Melora, believe it or not, I'm going to ask how you feel right now. Do you want to enter the city?
Well, the short answer is no, but considering I have no choice, considering that's where you're both going, if we get there tonight, then that's fine.
But if we get there tonight, all the shops are going to be closed, and I'm not going to be able to find you any makeup.
I didn't need it. As I said before, I was very careful. They didn't see me.
A little bit of change of clothes and some, I
What
guess.
are you saying?
I'm saying that there are finer things in life, and I enjoy sharing them with my fellow compatriots. And your cloak is ragged. What do you mean? What do you mean? What am I saying?
I made this myself with my mother.
Aware. It looks it. I can find you something so beautiful. Please, just for me. I don't want us to get arrested within the first 5 minutes of entering the fucking city.
Well, I feel like if we do, that will not be my fault.
Whose fault did you think it'd be? Me? Mine?
Perhaps.
Is that
I
what you're
didn't know
saying?
you.
Are you trying to say that I'm a man of ill intent?
I'm trying to say that you're very careful with your money. And if you have reason to believe people will steal from you, I'm starting to worry about the kind of people you've been around.
No, I'm worried that people are going to steal from me because we live in a world where bandits exist and where thieves are common.
All right. We also live in a world where people can make their own clothes and expect not to be slandered for their appearance. Eh?
Fine. Okay. Well, it's not slanderous if it's true, I suppose. But, listen.
You know, you're talking a lot for someone within the range of my dagger and my bow.
I would so love it if you were to stab me right now. That'd be a very interesting endeavor, don't you think, Kathyr? I'm just saying that I don't want you to get arrested. Okay? I don't want you to get hurt. Just allow me to find a bit of a disguise, just a small portion, maybe even a hat. A hat? Do you like hats? Have you ever worn a hat before?
Look at my hair. Does it look like I've worn a hat before?
We can get you a hat. They look wonderful. You can look like Robin Hood.
Oh, I think I've heard of that one.
It's a good story, isn't it?
So you want to wait until the shops are open so you could get me a hat, is what you're saying.
I say that we can, theoretically speaking, camp out outside and then wait for morning, yes. Unless we want to be extremely discreet and try to make our way into an inn, and then you guys wait in an inn for about an hour while I actually find us something.
Well, which would you prefer?
Do you think that we can sneak around with the 10 man over here?
That's a good point there. We can camp here, that's fine. Are there any trees around?
Not really. It's mostly mountainous terrain with no trees or open fields. You could probably make your way over to a cornfield and try and camp out in there.
I do. I miss my trees.
Children of the corn. So yeah, okay. I guess we're camping out at a cornfield. Is that what we've agreed upon? Is that a thing? Okay.
That we are.
Okay. There seems to be a cornfield just a little ways away, not too terribly far. And you guys approach upon it, and you can see that there's a house a little ways in the distance, not terribly close. And as the sun is beginning to set, you make your way into a cornfield, stomping through these rows, trying to make your way in. And there, you can't find a clearing within the field. You quickly realize that you're going to have to destroy some of this man's crops to make a place to lay.
I didn't want to do that.
So since moral justification says that we probably shouldn't ruin this man's livelihood, how close are we to this man's home?
You're pretty close. You could probably get there within 10 minutes of walking or so.
I say that we just go ask if we could maybe, I don't know, sleep in a cellar or something. I don't know.
I'll let you do the talking.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we walk towards the house. I'm going to take out I'm going to discreetly, to the most discretion that I can, take out about. I think to myself, what is wealthy? I take out 3 gold.
Okay. Yeah.
I take out 3 gold, and we approach the house, and I just.
You knock on the door, and as you guys approach, you can see there is one light on. It looks like there's one lantern that's lit within it, with smoke coming out of the chimney. And as you go knocking on it, you hear kind of a few thuds before the door opens, and a rather large, burly man with a big beer gut, and his shirt kind of comes down to just about midway down his chest, with big, bushy, black chest hair and a big bushy beard with the overgrown mustache that actually curls just a little bit. So it seems like he does keep it maintained, quote unquote. And then big, burly, thick hair, black hair, along with his beard and his chest hair. This tanned, weathered man with these piercing blue eyes and this large, burly nose. Yeah.
Just to get a better description, because I think I know what you meant to say, but I'm going to refer to what you did say. So this man has a button down with the top 3 buttons open, and his chest hair coming through, or is he actually just wearing a crop top that only goes to halfway down his chest?
He's wearing a shirt that has 3 buttons at the top. It's connected on the bottom.
Okay.
It only has 3 buttons at the top.
Okay.
It's like a polo.
Yeah, it's a half button shirt.
The way you described it, I was like, hold on a second.
Yes, he's wearing a crop top, showing the belly off the
oh yeah.
Out of his dad bod.
It's his own comfort. This is his home.
And as he opens the door, he goes, "Hi."
Hello. I don't mean to bother you. We're just travelers, and we were wondering if there was any chance that you could provide lodging to us. We're actually heading in that direction. I point in the direction opposite of Athala.
Okay.
And I go, we're actually heading in that direction, and it's getting pretty late, and not a lot of places to camp out right now. I could compensate you. Maybe as a portion of the compensation, you can give us some rations, some food to keep us going for our travel up ahead. And I take out 3 gold, and I go, any way that this could sway your decision.
He kind of looks about before putting a hand on the doorframe and kind of looking out to see kind of what time it is, basically, before kind of leaning back in and goes, "Aye, that would work. Most of the taverns and inns are going to be closed in Athala, I suppose. Yes, come in. I have some soup cooking in my fireplace. Come in. My name is Borovic."
Borovic, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Havel. This is Kathyr, and that's Melora.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Yes. All right, come in. It's beginning to get cold.
I very slowly and uncomfortably walk inside.
He doesn't notice as he turns around. You can see there's a nice rug made out of what looks to be almost an owlbear skin, with a fairly comfy couch and a pretty nice kitchen inside of it. You can see there's a large chimney coming out of the pretty big fireplace that has a big pot on it, with a couple of what looks like oven mitts hanging off the mantle. He goes and he sits down on a small bench in front of the fire and begins stoking the fire a little bit and gestures for you. Come in. Grab some bowls from the kitchen. At which point you can see that there are probably about 4 or 5 bowls sitting on the counter with what looks like a rag just kind of right next to them, probably recently washed.
Melora is fixated on the rug a little bit.
I just very gently just kind of, it's all right, just keep moving forward.
All right.
As they're doing that, I look at them and I go, quite a nice rug you got there.
Like that. Did some hunting back in 94. It was quite a fun trip.
Yes. A large beast, I suppose. It's quite a game that you have acquired. Are you a hunter by trade, or did you recently just settle down?
I have dabbled. I have several friends that I go out with. Gotta keep the skill sharp. I used to be a soldier in the Athalian military.
I go, well, thank you very much for having us tonight. And I go to shake his hand with the coin in hand.
Yeah.
And
you go
pass
through
it off.
And flawlessly does he take it off as someone who's clearly done this before. Before he kind of brushes a little bit of something from his nose, slides that into his pocket, and then goes and grabs the oven mitts and pulls the pot off of the fire and onto this 3-pronged carrier to keep it up. Before moving over to the kitchen and grabbing a ladle and a couple bowls, and begins ladling the soup. It looks like kind of a cheesy potato soup with some sort of meat in it. And then he hands out a bowl to you, Havel, and begins to hand a bowl to you, Melora.
I take it. What kind of meat does it look like it is?
It looks like some sort of white meat, probably chicken, but you're not quite sure.
I still kind of tuck Ginger's head in. And I leave the meat for last, kind of avoiding having to eat it. It's not necessarily that I am vegetarian, so to speak, but I try not to eat meat, especially since I picked up Ginger. So it kind of makes me uncomfortable. So I eat the potatoes and I eat around the meat, leaving it for last. Not sure whether I want to eat it or not.
Yeah. Borovic doesn't seem to be offended at all as he hands a bowl off to Kathyr, and then sits down on his couch, relaxing and lounging for a little bit, eating the soup.
While we start doing that, I take out one of the wines that I just remembered I took when we started. And I grab some glasses or cups from his cupboards, and I pour him a drink, pour myself a drink, and I look to the two questioningly.
What is that?
It's wine.
It's grape juice. You'll be
fermented grape.
All right. Is it? You do it for fun? What is it for?
It's a celebratory drink.
What are we celebrating?
Good company.
I can drink to that, Borovic says before he down.
Yeah. and I go, I down it as well.
Take a little bit, and it's actually one of my personality traits that I'm too enamored of ale, wine, and other intoxicants. So
nice. I'm
going to take a drink, and I'm going to take a moment to kind of like swish it around in my mouth and be like, wow, that's very good. And I'm going to drink the rest, and I'm going to say, can I have more?
Oh, of course, I have another bottle too if we want to get too far into it. And I pour her another one.
Rick sticks out his glass.
I just lean over to Melora because just be careful.
Why?
Do I hear this?
I was gonna say I'm trying to do this quietly.
Can I hear this at all?
What's your passive perception, Brian?
Oh, trash. Like a 9.
My passive stealth is actually a 12.
Yeah, okay. So he's being fairly quiet.
But yeah, I'll just kind of lean down. It's just, well, with too much drink, people make mistakes.
I didn't know what you're on about. Does it affect your thinking?
Over the course of the night, I'm going to tell ridiculous and hyperbolistic tales from Morencia, and my days as a circus hand.
Nice. And interestingly enough, Melora laughs along.
And we were setting up for one of the most grandiose portions of it, and the acrobat just stumbled in the elephant dung. It was glorious. I got a bit yelled at because they,
I'm sure you did.
I needed to clean it, but it was just so funny. But yeah.
So Havel, when did you leave the carnival?
Oh.
That was years ago. I believe I was in my 20s when I was in there. It's been a while. It's been a tad.
Can you still do your little tricks?
Couple glasses in, I'm not so sure, but I mean, I can attempt to.
I'd like to see it.
And any opposition?
Borovic just kind of, as you can see, he's beginning to fade a little bit. Just goes, yeah, circuit tricks.
I am going to. Oh God, how stupid is Havel?
Well, considering you've had about how many glasses now?
Several.
That should affect your decision, eh?
I go, Mr. Or actually no, Melora, do you think I could borrow your dagger?
What you going to do with it?
You'll see now, won't you?
I suppose I
take
will.
it, and I bring out 2 other daggers, and I begin to attempt to juggle them.
Go ahead and
as I once was able to do, and now drunk and being out of practice, not so sure.
Which is better for you, acrobatics or sleight of hand?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and roll an acrobatics check with disadvantage.
Oh no.
I'm ready for this to fail miserably. Guys, don't worry.
That was a 20.
That was a 20? Yeah. You take these daggers, look at your glass, finish it off.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then kind of almost with a faint sense of hesitation before...
Yeah.
And it works gloriously. You pick it up just as you used to, just barely missing the blades and landing on the handle every time and not cutting yourself or anything like that.
Wow, no wonder you used to get paid for that.
I get a little bit cocky, and I finish off the flourish by oh God. How drunk, Havel is pretty drunk. This is
your decision wisely, Ryan.
This is how
you could always make a wisdom save if you're not sure whether to do something, because that's what I always do.
Fair. But my wisdom's just low in general. So, Havel, the horns. To finish it off, what he's gonna do is that he's going to finish off the flourish, catch 2, and then on the third one he's going to try to catch it to land horizontally against his horns, the ones that arc back forward in a bow.
Okay. You go through and you finish the flare and you get last 2 and catch those and go into a bow, trying to keep almost an eye up. And the blade lands on your horns before sliding off ever so slightly, and it actually falls down and goes through Borovic's boot before embedding in the floor.
Oh God, no!
You can see him go. That's interesting.
I immediately stand up from the table.
As you're doing all of this, Hannah, in your pocket, you can feel the rod almost pull towards Borovic.
Interesting.
I take
it out.
I walk over to Borovic. Can I take out the knife and do a lay on hands?
Yeah, you take it out, take off his boot, and you can actually see his pinky toe has been severed completely from his foot.
I just take what's left of it and just try do a little bit of healing right there.
Yeah, 100%. You go through and you reattach the toe, at which point Borovic goes, and then passes out.
Havel's still in a bow.
I take out the rod.
Okay.
I take it out. What does it do?
It doesn't do anything at the moment, but you can just feel that slight tug and pull.
I walk a little closer.
Yeah, at the moment it's not doing anything.
Interesting.
How many hit points did I have to use to heal his pinky toe?
About 3 hit points.
3 hit points. Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Perfect.
Well, Havel's still in the bow. He didn't even realize what went on.
I'm still laughing. I enjoyed the trick. But now if I'm standing right next to him, does it do anything? Does it glow? If I put it by the boot, does it do anything?
Not quite. Nope.
Interesting. All right. I'd like to help wrap the best I can, considering I'm intoxicated.
You
and
go
help
through.
with herbs.
You begin to look at Borovik's foot, and you can see when Kathyr's as you remember, when Kathyr was wrapping himself up, he did a pretty bad job. But going through after removing his hand from Borovik's foot, the pinky toe is completely reattached with just a faint little scar across the top. There's not a whole lot of blood. There's just a little bit that had gotten onto the floorboards, and there's just a hole in the boot that's now off to the side. But it looks very well done, very well taken care of.
I put a hand on his shoulder and I'm like, that was a nice trick you did there. What did you do?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I've never done that before. It was...
Well, good on you then.
I also applaud.
Can I at this point just worried for both of them, really? Just take Melora and just kind of sit her down.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Everyone, we should probably go to sleep.
Yes.
Are we done with the stories?
I think both of you need to go to bed.
But you can't tell me what to do, Kathyr.
I would never dare do such a thing, but I'm merely
Do you want another glass?
How's Ginger, by the way?
You can see that there's one Borovik's glass has been set down for a while, and Ginger's currently on there with her face gulping in.
Oh no!
Good girl.
Drunk squirrel.
I pick her up and I hold her in my hands and I kind of giggle with her and I start talking to her.
She hiccups for just a little bit before falling over sideways in your hands.
I tickle her stomach.
She kind of wiggles for just a little bit before throwing up in your hands.
Oh, no.
Poor baby.
Are you okay? I'm not disgusted by this. Actually, I am intoxicated.
Even intoxicated, you're.
No, I'm used to this.
Yeah.
This is normal. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I put her back in my pocket, and I go and I wash my hands out, if I can, and I'm like, well, I'll go to bed, but not for me and not for you, Kathyr, for Ginger, all right? You heard it from me.
As you can see, looking about,
you choose to tell yourself.
There's only a couple places to sleep. It looks like there, above the kitchen, there is a little loft that has one singular bed. It looks like it's just big enough for Borovik to sleep in, and he's currently passed out on the couch. So there is that option. There's a little room on the couch for those that want to snuggle with Borovik, or you could always sleep on the floor on the owlbear rug.
Oh no, I do not want to do that. Is there a place on the floor that's can I kind of actually try to sluggishly, obviously, but kind of fold the rug up away from me to sleep on the floor?
Yeah, you can curl it up a little bit to make room in the living room to sleep on the floor.
I'm very gently fold it the best I can and push it away from me.
Yeah,
and
100%.
then I curl up with Ginger.
I roll her my bedroll.
Okay.
I roll it over to her and I go, stay warm. And I drunkenly make my way up to the loft.
Beautiful. You make your way up to the loft. It's a very comfortable bed. Probably about 10 to 12 inches of down feathers that make up this mattress with a nice blanket over it and a pretty comfortable pillow. So it's very similar to some of the places that you have stayed in the past, enjoying some of the finer sides of luxury.
Havel removes his jacket and then shirt and then sprawls out on the bed and goes, Kathyr. Kathyr, please.
Still
join me, friend.
Still downstairs. I think I'll pass, but thank you.
Kathyr, it's very comfortable.
I'm sure it is, and I would never want
Kathyr.
to intrude on your comfort.
Kathyr. And then I stop saying anything, and I don't actually go to sleep.
Okay.
I am sleepishly trying to open the bedroll, but I didn't really know
I help
how it
her.
works.
I help put, well, if she will not slit my throat, I will.
So I'll let him help me, but I'll tell him the whole time that I didn't need his help.
Yep.
Be like, I can do it for myself, you know.
Oh,
As
yes.
you continue to actually do it, Kathyr.
Of course, yes, you can do it yourself. I'm just doing it for you.
But I didn't need the help, you know.
Well,
I'm
help
perfectly capable of taking care of myself.
is we've both already determined you're the one who takes care of us.
I
am simply just helping.
All right.
Honestly, I don't know if I'm more scared of Melora or drunk Melora.
As Melora begins to quickly fade and pass out, Kathyr, you do notice that the rod is still out on the couch now.
Okay.
Oh.
Oopsie. Can I pick that up?
Mm-hmm. As you do, the circle with a line in it on your arm it doesn't hurt or anything like that, but you can almost feel it pulsing.
Do I as well, or am I just out?
This is something that you are familiar with, as it's been happening constantly. It's between you or Kathyr, whoever's holding the rod, it has that kind of pulsation in their arm.
Interesting.
I wonder why she never mentioned this.
What did you say?
Nothing. And I'll just kind of I'll stay up for a little bit longer and try and find just a nice quiet corner, maybe prop a chair over, and kind of just look at the rod for a little bit and try and just think on if what the heck this could be. I'm not necessarily asking for a roll, but like just thinking.
Yeah, as you go through and just kind of look at this rod and focus on it, the longer you stare at it, there's almost a ringing in your ears that you begin to hear before everything kind of goes quiet after a little bit. And you can now open that PDF as you are attuned to this item. Both of you can open the PDF.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Give me un momento.
While they're doing that, we're going to go ahead and say that you guys go ahead and fall asleep. And we'll move over to Riniya and
really
Tarak
fast.
and Edward. What's up, Ryan?
Really fast. I wanted to wait for Kathyr to fall asleep, and then I was going to steal the 3 gold pieces back.
After Kathyr eventually falls asleep, you do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Drew is disappointed.
Why?
Why?
Nope.
Beautiful.
You don't get to say why. He's just disappointed.
So
yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. So let me look at this PDF now.
yeah, you guys look at that, and we'll hop over to the rest of the cast. So, Riniya, Tarak, Edward, you guys have been spending most of the day traveling around the lower ring of Athala, tracking this card and trying to keep your eyes on it. As you've been going about, you've seen that there's a number of different vendors that have been setting up shops, a lot of decorations with blues and silvers and a pale gray have been going up, different streamers and cloth decorations, different things to decorate. And Riniya, as you being, or not Riniya, both Riniya and Edward, you guys quickly realize that the Damnia festival starts in the following day. The festival celebrating Demarius's blessing on Athala and bringing them cooler months, as it does get very, very hot inside the cave, especially during the summer. And the arrival of fall is something to be celebrated here in Athala, as it celebrates almost a time of luxury for the people of Athala, as they are well fed and they are kept cool. And it's very much a time of relaxation, as a lot of the farmers that live just outside the walls relax after the harvest and prepare to enjoy the winter with their families and stuff like that, along with a variety of different things. And so they've been going through and setting up for this as you guys have been looking about. And as you have been traveling, you guys keep going, and you get to a point where that card is brightest before finding anything, and go past it a little bit, and it would start to dim, and you would go back to where that point the card is brightest, and it would be slightly different, just a little bit further one way or the other before it would go back. And you go through, and you go through this a couple different times. You guys travel a couple miles each way trying to figure out where this is, and it is hard to notice the difference in light on the card before eventually you guys it becomes a little too dark for you guys to really be able to tell where you're going and what you're doing, and you feel like you might need to stop for the night somewhere.
Well, that didn't work. I thought for sure. I mean, it worked earlier. Do you know anywhere where we can stay? Somewhere, nice, perhaps? Maybe up a level?
Riniya? I know
a
couple strong alleyways that most people don't go down often.
An alleyway? An alleyway? You realize I can pay for a room, right?
Riniya kind of just like hunkers down.
What do you think we should do?
I don't know. Do I know anywhere that we can go and stay other than the orphanage?
You know of one inn that's fairly nice. This is where every once in a while the Silver Oak Orphanage would give you guys a day outside of the orphanage to relax, just about once every 3 months. And so they usually send you to the 12 Cranes, which is the kind of the first inn on the inner ring that you enter when you enter the city. And so you know of that inn. Otherwise, you've never really been to the second level, except for on the rare occasion that you'd go buy supplies and you need to get up to the stalls. But otherwise, that's basically the only inn that you know of here in the first ring.
I mean, I know one place, but I mean,
it's better than an alleyway, right?
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Please tell me it's better than an alleyway.
It's better than an alleyway. Okay, and I'm gonna start leading them that way.
You make your way, having made your way to the eastern side of the city, or the right side if you're looking at the front of the city. Having made your way over that far, you begin making your way west across the front of the inner ring once again, and finding that sunken courtyard with that shop, which you guys grimly pass as you go through that sunken courtyard before making it to that large courtyard just a little bit further with several buildings all around. And on the far end of the courtyard, you can see that there's one fairly nice shop, one fairly nice building, one of the nicer ones here on the lower ring, especially here right the entrance to the city is required to be kept up pretty well. And so you go up to it and you can see that it is almost it's like a rustic home style bed and breakfast type place, where as you begin to enter, you can see that there's several people who are eating, and it's bustling with food and people. You can see that there's a couple different waiters that are busting tables, a couple gnomes, and a halfling with one human woman at the bar who is currently handing out plates and washing dishes and going about with what sounds like a human man in the back cooking food.
Well, I suppose it's not the worst place in the world. I mean, I wish it was a little less public, but it should work. What do people do in these kinds of places? And I look at Riniya.
I think they just enjoy themselves, settle in, have a safe place.
Enjoy themselves like this? This looks like torture. Everyone's yelling and everyone looks scary. Well, I suppose we could try having a drink or something?
Rack has his hood lower, like as low as it can possibly go. I've shrunk myself to appear a little just as small as I can get. arms are tucked in.
Yeah.
I turn to Tarak, or Edward turns to Tarak, and he says, Tarak,
Yes.
will you be able to handle yourself in here? You won't go crazy or anything, right?
It is not me that I'm worried about.
What is that supposed to mean? Riniya wouldn't do anything.
If you haven't noticed, there aren't very many orcs around here, and I was just chased by the guard because of you just a little bit ago.
Because of me?
Yes.
I mean, you're the one in the city. I'd just like to point that out. If you weren't in the
yes.
city, maybe you wouldn't be chased by orcs.
I'm sorry.
I mean
Are you two not friends? I know you said you weren't together, but
you could say he picked me up along the way.
You mean that quite literally? I was running from the guards, and he stepped in front of me, and instead of knocking him down, or I didn't really have room to run around, I kind of just picked him up and continued to run.
Like a maniac, I might add.
But all due respect, I don't fit in well here. You can find me across the street in an alley. I would much rather be there with room to run if need be.
Okay, suit yourself. I mean, guess that's more room for my pocket for the change? Riniya, do you have any money?
I have a little bit.
Okay, so you can afford a room, because I've heard there are people here that don't have money.
Yeah, this is kind of common around here a little bit.
It's so strange to me. People have money. All right. Well, I suppose I will pay for our rooms. And if you'd like to buy yourself a drink, I suppose that would work. Yes?
That's all right. I think I'm just gonna head to a room.
Oh, okay. Suit yourself. So I suppose Edward would go head to the bar.
What?
Riniya, would you like to join me?
Riniya's going to kind of just follow because she needs him to pay for her room.
Okay.
You both approach the bar. You can see that out of the about 10 seats that she has at the bar, there's probably 6 people there, a variety of different shapes and sizes, mostly human here, but there is one halfling and one elf as well. And as you approach, you can see there is a long-haired ginger woman, freckles across her cheek, green eyes. She kind of has her hair in a braid right now to keep it from falling into her glasses and into her drinks and stuff like that. She's wearing an apron right now, and she currently is washing the glasses. She just got done helping a customer before she notices you approach and goes, hi, how can I help you?
I would like 2 rooms, please, for tonight. 2 of the nicest rooms you have available, if possible. And also, how much would that cost us?
For 2 rooms, that would be about 6 silver pieces.
Oh, only 6. Okay. Sure. I only have gold with me. Is that okay?
I can break gold, yes. And she wipes off her hands before going over to this one lower section of the bar that has what looks like some sort of bookkeeping that she does with a couple different sacks of coin. And she goes over and you can see she ticks off 2 rooms before grabbing beneath the desk and grabbing 2 keys that she hands to you guys before reaching out for the gold. Your gold, please.
Yes, of course. And I pull out a pretty large little satchel full of a little jangly things, and I pull out 1 gold coin and put it in her hand.
Perfect. She takes that, looks at it, and then puts it in one bag before pulling out 4 silver pieces and handing those to you. Your rooms will be just up the stairs. They are the first rooms, 1 and 2, and so you guys are, I don't know how you want to split these, but here you go. And if you need any food, just let us know. We have drink. Fish is on the menu tonight, specifically cod that we're cooking, and so you're more than welcome to have some of that as well.
Okay, that's not too bad. Riniya, do you need any help setting up? I've never stayed in one of these things.
I think I'll stay for a little meal and then I'll head off. And then I'm gonna kind of put a hand awkwardly on his shoulder and be like, I'm sorry I punched you earlier, and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Go ahead and roll your Cure Wounds.
Hey, you get 3 points back.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, I was quite sore after that one. You really clocked me there. I mean, I've experienced some dings and stuff here and there from fencing training, but I mean that was just another level of pain.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
And she's just gonna kind of look down at her key, and then looks at the little bartender. Can I have that meal now?
Oh, yes, of course, darling.
Make that 2 meals.
Okay. Here, sit down. And she points to 2 chairs, clearly making sure they're on the end of the bar, not barn, far away from the other patrons, before running and grabbing 2 wooden plates with a big old fillet of cod on it, and then some leafy greens and a couple steamed carrots that she puts in front of both of you guys.
As she brings it over, Riniya is just gonna mouth, "I'm sorry."
She goes, before setting your guys' plates down. Anything else that I can get you? Something to drink? Water, ale, beer?
Do you have wine? You have,
yes, we have wine. Yes, we have some wines, white or red.
Riniya, what kind of wine do you usually prefer?
Oh, I don't actually drink. I'll just do a water.
Oh, you don't drink wine? Interesting.
As you're making this decision, she's already pouring water for you, Riniya. Red wine? Perfect.
Yes.
And she comes back with a silver goblet. You can tell that it's not made of real silver. It's just silver plated. Setting down a glass of red in front of you.
Okay. Well, Riniya, am I saying that correctly, Riniya? I know you mentioned it earlier to our orc friend, but I wasn't really listening at that moment. Sorry. It was Riniya, right?
Yes, it's Riniya.
Okay. And you seem pretty shaken up about this Samuel? This child?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me about Samuel. Tell me about how you've managed to get in this scenario.
Well,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Did I say something?
No, you were good.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, so Samuel, he, she's like tearing up a little bit.
No, please.
Are you sure she's tearing up or are you tearing up?
A little bit of both.
Please don't cry. It's okay. We don't have to talk about this now. I'm sure we'll find him. We will. It's just been a crazy day, okay? We'll have a good night. We'll reassess in the morning and we'll see where we can go from there, okay? Does that sound okay? Okay. I'm sorry I ever disturbed you.
You're pretty good at that.
What was that?
Nothing. Sorry.
DM, did I hear that?
What's your passive perception?
So that's 10 plus.
Plus your perception modifier.
Okay. Yeah, that's only an 11.
Riniya, did you say that loudly?
No.
Okay, good.
I'll say with the noise of the bar and her not saying it very loudly, you didn't hear it.
That sounds good. Well, I suppose we could try to meet some folks. Yeah?
Why?
But I don't know. I mean, I guess I kind of came here to meet people. Why? Is it dangerous? Should I be worried of something?
No, I'm sorry. I think I'm gonna go to my room now, and she's gonna actually like grab a handful of some of like the food and then start walking away.
Well,
Okay, you do
good
that.
night then. Good. Okay. I look to my left. I was assuming Riniya was to my right. I look to my left.
Yeah.
To see who's around.
You can see, like I said, majority human. So the 4 people, it's 2 humans next to you, both of them looking rather gruff and traveled, scraggly beards, not well-kept hair, pretty dirty, wet people. They look like they've been traveling. Between them and another human is what looks like a high elf in rather regal clothes.
So is this a bar or is that like a table?
This is at the bar.
Okay.
And then you can see another human. This one a little bit bigger, looks to be the farmer type. You can see that he's wearing some pretty dirty clothes. It looks like his hands are fairly dirty. Someone that's probably looks like he's been out in the field for the majority of the day. And then I believe they said there is a halfling man, I believe. At which point you can see this halfling off by himself enjoying his food as well.
All right. Are there any open seats in between them or anything?
No, they're all right in a row.
Okay. Well, I guess I look at my food again with kind of a half impressed look, and then I just grab my wine and leave it there. And I hop down and I walk over and I say, "Hail and well met, friends."
A couple of them kind of like look back at you. The two gruff humans kind of look back at you before going back to their food. You can see the halfling doesn't even acknowledge that you were there. And eventually the elven man kind of turns around and says, "Aye, to you as well."
I'm excited for the festival tomorrow.
Ah, yes, it should be quite nice. From what I understand, the Damnia festival is something quite beautiful here in Athala.
Yes, I'm from here, but I've never seen it before. Have you heard any stories of where might be the best place to, in the festival? I don't make it here much.
I would imagine up in the stores. That is where most of the people would be hanging out, where most of the celebrations are, and it allows for a good view of, I believe, the fireworks. This will be my first time here in Athala. I'm coming specifically for the Damnia festival. Yes, I'm very excited.
Well, it's great to meet you, sir. What is your name?
Aranas. It is very nice to meet you. And yours?
Mine is Edward.
Edward.
And yes. And is his hand dirty?
No.
Okay. I try and kind of look at his hand, and I'm trying not to make it obvious, and I take it and I shake his hand, kind of firmly, and I say, "Well, what brings you to Athala, friend?"
The Damnia festival.
Oh yes, we've already established that. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this.
Talking to people.
Yes, other than my family, not a lot, I suppose.
Well, family is important, I suppose. I do quite a bit of traveling myself. I'm a writer, you see.
Really? I'm currently looking for travelers to help me along my journey. You see, I have a mission. I want to go out and find people who are less fortunate. I want to lend them my hand. And I don't really know where to start, so I'm here. It's strange how I got here, but I am here. And now I'm talking to you.
He sets his hands on your shoulder. First word of advice from a seasoned traveler. Don't tell everyone your life story.
Why not?
Because that's a good way to get robbed and killed. I can see you're very rich.
Oh, well, yes, I am rich. But are people that aggressive?
Yes.
And
Athala,
money is that precious to them?
Okay. I have a question for you. All right. If I say that I have 1 gold, how much money comparatively to you do you think that's worth?
Do you know how an ant gazes at a mountain?
Yes. I can.
That is like your gold piece sitting at the front gates of my family's estate.
I see. Very, very nice. All right. Yes. So your perception on money is very skewed, as 1 gold could get a family by for a week's worth of rations and food and making sure that they stay alive.
1 gold can do all that.
Yes, very easily.
I could save so many people right now.
Yes, if you went out and started just handing out all your gold, you could help a lot of people. Yes.
Well, that's tricky.
Edward, Tarak comes back through the doors.
Yeah.
Still hudged, and goes, Edward.
What are you doing here?
Edward.
Excuse me. And I walk over hastily. What do you want? What are you doing?
I need your blood.
My blood?
Yes, not a lot, just a little bit, just a tad. We're hunting a witch, right?
I guess, but still, that's my own blood. I don't know what you would do with that.
Well, I mean,
you're an
would
orc.
you rather us track a witch or the witch track us?
Well, what about Riniya? She's.
I was going to ask you where she went. Did she go off alone? You let her go off alone?
Well, I know we're in rooms 1 and 2, and she's in one of those. I'm not an idiot, Tarak.
Then give me your blood.
Well, let's go ask Riniya first.
That's fine. I can get all the blood at once. I will be using my own blood as well.
Okay.
You can see now, as you look back, Aranis is kind of looking at you as he swirls his glass and almost like tucking his head, trying to get a vision of Tarak before just setting his glass down. And you can see there's a notebook in front of him and jotting down a few notes.
We should hurry.
Yes. As we're brushing past the friends I met, I say, "Hail and well met. Great to meet you. I have to run." And I walk quickly.
So long, Edward. Try not to get robbed.
Yes, sir.
As he says that, you kind of look past it. You can see that there's several people that are now watching you, Edward.
I'm torn because I don't want to walk closer to Tarak, but I also don't. I don't want to be in the open.
Does Tarak also notice that they're giving Edward vibes? Like
you can see that they're not necessarily giving bad vibes, but they're definitely giving him the side eye, like, "Oh, this guy has money," as Aranis just kind of announced to everyone.
Can I briefly attempt to use everything that I've learned for the 13 years that I've been alive in Orc world?
Yeah.
To exude the aura of rob him, I kill you.
Yeah, roll an intimidation check.
I would love nothing more.
Give you advantage because you're an orc.
Oh, well, okay, let's see if I crit. 23.
Yeah, you go through and you can see a lot of people side-eyeing. And so for just a brief second, you roll your shoulders back, stand up straight, and allow the weapon at your side to kind of just slide through your cloak just a little bit. And you can see, and then put your hand on his shoulder. And as you begin guiding him through the crowd, you can see people give him a side eye and then look up at you and then look away.
I hunch back down.
I say, your friend at the table gives very good advice. Being robbed is not fun.
I could imagine. Thanks for that, I suppose.
Thanks for what?
Her door should be this way.
Oh, very good.
As you guys make your way back past where Edward and Riniya have been sitting, you can see there is a staircase going up, and you go up, and there's the first door on the right and the left. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. And it seems like 1 is just slightly open, and 2, the door has been closed.
A knock on 2.
Riniya, you hear a knock on 2.
Riniya?
It cracks open and you just see like one eye.
Riniya, I need your blood.
Now, don't go off.
It opens more.
What? You're going to scare her. He's trying to say he needs to track the witch.
No.
Rather than what?
No, I need the witch to not track us or boil us alive from a mile away.
Oh, they can.
Do you know nothing of witches here?
I mean, no. Some, I suppose. Riniya, we need your blood.
I thought you were supposed to be more intelligent away from her. Never mind.
Excuse me, I was schooled in the arts. I was schooled by the highest tutors of the city. I don't know about lowly things like witches and things that orcs do. I've only heard stories. I don't learn about that in books, okay?
Orcs are not witches. Orcs don't
Well,
like
it kind
witches.
of feels that way sometimes,
How many orcs have you met?
Well, I suppose just you.
In that case, I take offense.
Fine.
But yes, I'm going to take, well, if, of course, consensually you allow me to take your blood, I'm going to scatter it around the city best I can, so that way it is more difficult to douse our location, just in case we get in a scuffle, or perhaps if she escapes, that way she cannot boil our blood alive and then kill us from the inside.
Okay. But if our blood's scattered about, won't that give her our blood if she's looking for us?
Well, but even if she has our blood then it will only direct her to several, it will scatter the location around the city. It will appear as though multiple parts of her blood are around. She will not know which one is which.
Okay.
Man, you really don't know anything about witches.
How much blood?
Oh, just a small, like half a vial. Basically,
vial?
5 drops would be fine.
And Mr. Tarak, how do you suppose we get the blood out of our bodies?
Riniya just looks out the door and is like, just come in, and leads them into her room.
They're fairly modest rooms. There is one bed with one little bench in the corner and another almost like a basket for you to set your stuff down in. The bed it's nice. They could be better, but it serves as it's more comfortable than the ground. It's more comfortable than some of the other places that you can sleep, especially for Tarak. With that basket, for your stuff down in, and the bench, it's fairly nice. Well worth the little bit of silver that it was.
And we're on the 2nd floor?
Yes.
I never actually believed that the stories were true. You choose to sleep above the ground. This is fascinating.
I just kind of give him a side look, like he's crazy.
Also, were you eating the fish downstairs?
I wasn't.
Yeah, that's what you do.
God, you people are strange. But yes.
So many layers.
So your blood?
Hey.
How are we doing this?
Do you have a knife?
I have a dagger. It's
that would work
nice,
fine.
Though I try not to dirty it, but I suppose it should be sterile.
If you don't want to dirty your knife, did the food you have come with a dining utensils of any kind?
I am not using one of
I kind of just grabbed it and walked away.
I suppose if your fingernails are sharp enough, we could do it that way. That would be fine. That works. That's how the clerics of Luthic do it. But,
no, I think I'll stick to my own dagger. Yeah, I don't
that would
want
be
any
fine.
strange other materials wandering into my body. I care about my life somewhat. So.
That would be great.
Is there anything, come to think of it, I don't actually have anything to put this in. I was planning on kind of just, is there any paper around?
You don't currently see any paper unless Riniya or Edward has them with them. Or yourself.
Edward, you said you were learned. Do you happen to have a paper with you of any kind?
Yes, I have 5 sheets, but I prefer to use those for like things that paper are used for, like letters or keeping track of things. But
I mean paper would be. I would only need maybe half a sheet.
I suppose I could use my paper for your weird blood trick. And I take out a piece of paper and fold it in half a couple times, very kindly, and then just very gently, very slowly, on the desk. And once I'm done, I gently hand one to Tarak, and I stick the piece of paper back in my pouch.
I not at all carefully rip them into about
12 individual little bits.
Right.
I say, cover 4 of them with your blood, and then I will, of course, cover 4 with mine, and then I shall scatter them throughout the city tonight.
I lean over to Riniya. Riniya, can I borrow some of your blood?
Tarak, you can hear all this.
For you?
I really don't want to do this.
Well, I don't want to do it either.
It won't work unless it's your blood. You know that, right?
Oh no. Okay. Riniya, would you do the honors? And I just kind of hold my hand out, I guess, and hand her my dagger.
Riniya just stares at the dagger.
As you look at it, you can see that this dagger has never been used ever.
I'm not going to do it. Somebody
hold
has
out
to.
my hand to Riniya. Would you prefer that I do it?
I don't want you to do it. You might slice my whole hand off.
Yes, please. And she's actually going to even like turn around a little bit.
I take the dagger. I'll do mine first.
Okay.
And I literally just nick the tip of my pointer finger.
Yep.
Just a tiny bit, so like just a little bit of blood flow.
100%.
And kind of like put a drop on each of the 4 pieces.
Yeah, easy peasy.
I wipe the knife off just to be sure. I even hold it over a candle if there is one.
There is a candle that you can sterilize the knife with.
Riniya, are you fine with next, or would you rather Edward be next? Edward, if she says that she wants you to do it, it has to be you. Okay, very good. I'll do the same thing, nick her finger just a little bit, put the 4 pieces. Edward.
It's much less painful than you expected, Riniya. Like, it's just a little prick, and like you don't even take a point of damage. So
she just kind of like, okay, cool, that okay.
I don't want the dagger.
I'm going to take Edward's hand and kind of hold it up a little bit, and then just subtly kind of push it back towards Tarak.
Wait.
No, listen. It's totally
Please.
fine. And I'm just going to
Did you
start
wash it
talking.
off?
No, he's working on it right now.
I do the same thing.
Fine.
I wipe it off, hold it
over
over the candle
We're
real
going to do
quick.
a countdown, okay? We're totally going to count down. It's going to be totally fine, all right? Just look at me, okay?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Ready? We're going to count, okay? We're going to count to 3. And then it's going to happen, okay? You've got it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine.
Oh, gods, I'm not a praying man, but right now, please come to my aid.
And then...
Are you going to do it? I've been sitting here for 3 years.
I haven't started counting yet. Okay, 1, 2...
I do it.
Yeah. So... Edward, as Riniya speaks to you, much as she did to the children in the orphanage that wouldn't want to eat their food, she speaks to you, and just for a moment, you're actually almost like relaxed for just a second as you look at Riniya, and you begin to notice just how pretty she actually is, with her nice thick black hair and her green eyes kind of staring at you, and this very soothing voice before this, the worst pain you've ever felt in your whole life. As you prick your finger on what you expected, as you vaguely hear 1, 2, and expecting the 3 to happen, it then pricks your finger. You rip your hand from her hands, screaming in pain as blood just barely comes out of the smallest little.
Oh, that was not on 3.
I just grab his arm. I'm just like, I'm trying to put it on the paper.
Yeah.
This is the worst thing I've ever done in my whole life. I wish I had Charles here. He would never make me do this.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sad.
And I'm terribly sorry for interrupting your night.
I don't forgive you. I could be staying in the Pegasus Inn or whatever it was. You know I paid for a room there. Now I'm stuck here.
Well, I'm going to go. If there's any danger of any kind, if you feel as though your body is being stabbed by multiple needles, that means it did not work, and you are definitely being... someone is trying to kill you.
I prefer being stuck by several needles than being stuck here with you.
Well, if your heart explodes in the middle of the night, then it didn't work. And then I just leave.
And then I just turn to Edward. If your heart explodes, come get me.
Fine. I'll come get you. They're not going to Tarak.
Okay.
I'm going to go to my room. If Tarak comes back asking for more blood, tell him that I left.
I pop back into the room. I go,
yes.
I'm so sorry. I took your knife with me. It's just a fine blade. Take good care of it. It will serve you well. Here you go. And I set it on the desk and I go.
Nice.
Well, thank you, I suppose. Oh, he's so annoying. I'm going to go back to my room.
Sweet. Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, he's kind of sweet. I guess. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to bed.
Okay.
I've had a long day.
Okay.
Sorry. We'll find Samuel tomorrow, I promise. And I grab the dagger and wipe it off and put it in my thing. And I step out the door quietly and go to my room and lock the door.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
same.
going to shut the door and start very quickly pulling out my things for my ritual.
Okay, yeah, definitely. You go through and you pull out all of your material components and begin to set about going through your ritual. Edward, as you enter into your room, you turn around, lock the door before looking at your stuff, and it looks exactly like Riniya's room. There's no special privilege, there's no special treatment. It's just a basic bed, a bench, and a basket. Just the basic provisions. You feel the bed a little bit, and it's a lot stiffer than your bed back home, and not quite as comfy.
Well, I suppose this is the life I've chosen to lead. I lay down and look up at the ceiling, and I say, Charles, I wish you were here. I write a little bit in my journal.
Okay.
I sit up. I lay down, I try to get comfortable. I'm still dissatisfied, and I try to fall asleep.
All right, perfect. Tarak, you head down the stairs. When you get to the base of the stairs, you can see kind of everyone look at you before realizing that it's you, and they immediately look back down at their plates before you make your way through the dining area and exit back into the lower ring.
I will go to... Are there like gutters down here?
Yeah, in the lower ring, there's along the sides. So there's the two alleys that go along the rings, the inner ring and the outer ring along the wall. And then there's two more alleys that go through there's two rows of housing before you get to the main road in the middle. And so in each of those outer alleyways and on the inside rims of the buildings, on the inside row of the buildings, there are rings that go around that are used for sewage and for rain control and stuff like that go through.
I will find 4 separate locations that have either good water flow or good airflow.
Okay.
So that way it will carry the pieces of paper throughout the city best as they can.
Yeah.
And I will scatter one of each of the papers down all 4 of those. And then I will go back to like some alley where I can see the inn that they're at. I'll find a nice little corner with a box.
Yeah.
Wrap my cloak around me.
One of the things, as you're going about and scattering, you're noticing that all of the 4 pieces of Riniya's, her blood is much darker than even your blood, which is darker than that of a human. But her blood is almost like black, like pitch black to it. Not even so like as it would be if you had just like it was just dried blood and it's well oxygenated, like pitch black blood.
Does this seem like a medical issue?
Roll a medicine check.
I would love nothing more. 20.
If it is, it's not of something that you've ever heard of.
Okay, so could be a disease that I just don't know about, or something worse. We're gonna hope that it's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll scatter the paper. I want to make sure that I'm close enough where, like, if I hear screams or see something suspicious, that I can hurry to the inn as quickly as I can. I'll keep watch for 2 hours, but then I'll go to sleep.
All right, perfect. Roll a perception check while you're keeping watch.
Ooh, much worse. 12. Wait.
Yeah.
Even worse. 10.
Nice. So you go through and you find a little alleyway with a good view of the 12 Cranes Inn, trying to keep it out for shifty characters that come near it, just people in general. The 12 Cranes Inn is on the very edge of this very large plaza in the very front of the city, just on the inner ring side of the plaza edge. And so it's pretty easy, as there's plenty of little alleyways and buildings that you can kind of tuck yourself in just around this plaza, or you could even just like lay down in the corner. You can see there's, now that it's beginning to get dark, there are several people that are just kind of hunched around buildings and around the fountain trying to stay warm, just all covering themselves in a cloak before falling asleep. But that is all you noticed. Anything else you want to do before you go to bed?
No, I'll take out a small piece of rotten fruit or something that I found in a gutter 2 days ago. Kind of nom a little bit on that. And then I go to sleep with my hand on my sword.
Perfect. With that, we're going to go ahead and take our break. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Definitely check us out. Yeah, we'll be back in just a little bit. Have fun, guys. Cool. Are we on break? Awesome. So we're back. We had just left off with Riniya, Tarak, and Edward falling asleep in the city of Athala. We're actually going to jump back over to Havel, Melora, and Kathyr as they wake up. Borovic is still passed out on the couch, sound asleep. But you all wake up. Melora, your head is pounding. Any little movement that happens sounds like crashing thunder in your head. And you can see that Ginger wakes up before immediately falling back over and then slowly crawls her way up your stomach and chest and then just flops into the pocket.
I tap my pocket. I'm like, good girl. Christ.
Melora, how do you feel?
I stop talking so loud.
I just very quietly, very non-aggressively, just walk over and just, I think I can help. And I just lay, if she allows me, I just place I take off my glove and just place it like on her forehead.
I react at first. I'm kind of like...
It's alright. And I will expend 5 hit points of Lay on Hands to cure a ailment, also known as hangover.
Also known as lay on hangover.
Yeah. More like lay off hangover. Really.
Yeah, lay off hangover.
Yeah. As Kathyr gently places his hand against your forehead, it's you're feeling very warm and still flushed. And it's a nice cooling, cold sensation. And that cold sensation kind of spreads across your forehead and down your neck. And as it goes down your body, you can feel your headache go away, the sensitivity to light and sound diminish, and the soreness and ache that's in your body, especially in your stomach, begins to diminish as that cooling sensation goes down your body. Before he gently takes his hands away, his eyes... As he did it, his eyes glowed just for a second. Like if you had been looking like right at his face, you wouldn't have noticed it. But just for a second, they glowed before he takes his hand and puts the glove back on.
Oh, thank you very much. Can you do that to Ginger?
I'm not right now, unfortunately.
That's all right. She'll be fine. She just needs a great sleep. But
although actually, I suppose I could try one thing, and I'll take out the rod.
Okay.
And just not really sure entirely what to do. I just point it at Ginger and expend 1 charge to cast Cure Wounds on her.
Okay.
Technically not wounds, but maybe, right?
You can see the word Ruat across the Vestrusium ring glows just ever so faintly before traveling through that one amethyst crystal at the very end of it. And that glow kind of transfers through the crystal into Ginger before she glows for just a second. But she doesn't move afterwards. She's still just kind of groggy and sleeping there and not wanting to do anything.
Well,
She'll feel better when she wakes up. When did it start doing that?
Last night.
Ugh. I don't remember a thing.
Real quick, Mr. DM, sir, because I'm gonna roll to see how many charges it did have at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. So we started at 3 and now we're down to 2.
Perfect. Yeah, and the charges stack. So if you don't use any more, then whatever you gain to a maximum of 5. It's not 1d4 plus that. It stays at 5 unless you use the charges, and then you regain the charges as you go.
That's nice.
Well, do you want me to hold it again? Or are you going to hold it for yourself? I mean, you clearly know how to use it. I didn't know it did that.
Well, I just took a moment last night while both of you were sleeping, I suppose, or trying to sleep. Well, I just took a moment and held it in my hand, really. I didn't do much. I just sort of got this feeling.
Well, do you have a place in your bag for it?
Yeah.
All right. You can have it.
And as I put it away, by the way, did you ever notice the fact that our rune glows with the rod?
I thought yours did too.
Well, not until I held it. And this makes me very much think that this rod is something to do with our predicament.
So, what do you think stops that?
Well, my guess would be, and perhaps Havel can help me out since he's the one who knows of the holy arts. But at least from my understanding, it might require powerful magic.
All right. Well, you can keep it for now. It clearly affects the both of us the same, so gonna see why you kind of hold it.
I'll put it away.
I will take this moment now to point out that Havel is still very much asleep, heavily, like gone.
You can hear just a faint snoring, not super loud or intrusive, but just a nice heavy breathing as he's very much enjoying one of the better sleeps he's had in a while.
I just go upstairs, begrudgingly. Ah, dear. And I just kneel, basically go through the process of attempting to wake him.
Havel is shirtless, his pants half down and one boot's missing, and he's completely he's half on, half off the bed.
Let's just say this: the man is a specimen.
I just walk over and just kind of lightly slap him across the face.
Oh, Nate, mother of.
You get there.
It's time to go.
Do you always sleep early?
I don't want to talk about it. I get up, put on my clothes, double check everything as I do, morning routine. And
everything is there,
including the coin that I stole.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Return to owner. To owner. I go.
Return to sender. It's a package.
Yeah, it's a round trip. I go. Wonderful. We should get going then. I'm sorry for.
How much time do you need to get yourself together?
I realize that I'm not wearing clothes. And go. Good point. And round and slide on my pants, get all form, slick back my hair. I try to make myself as presentable as possible. And I take the time to recork the wine that hasn't been drank. Whatever.
The little bit
survived. Yeah, whatever survived. In fact, actually, how little is there?
There's probably about a glass left in your second bottle.
I hand it over to Melora and I go, "You want to finish it off?"
I take it.
This morning.
I take the bottle away from both of them and just put it in my bag.
Maybe later.
I earned that bottle, but totally fair.
I'd like to rebraid the parts of my hair that I got messed up last night, which I'm sure are quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Just going to weave. I'll keep the same flowers that were in there because I don't have other ones to replace it with, and I'll just rebraid and make it neater.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. You definitely fix your hair.
Melora, have you never had a drink before?
No. No, I have not.
And the drink you have.
But I imagine it will not be the last. Especially if you can keep doing your little magic trick when I wake up in the morning.
Not
Well,
if
I have a limited supply of that.
Oh well.
Right.
No, good remedy for that actually is cold water, raw egg, I think some cilantro.
It's a shame we have none of that except for the water.
I feel like I could probably find it though.
Well, I didn't have water either. I need to get a new water skin. Mine's ruined.
I take out mine.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Well, I believe that we've overstayed our welcome, and I'm going to actually take the bear rug. I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. I'm going to unroll it and actually lay it back down on the floor so that way it's not a mess. And then I'm going.
Extend the paws.
Yeah.
Flip the head back over.
I take. Are there any fruit? Are there any fruit in the kitchen?
There is no fruit in the kitchen.
That's unfortunate. Do I have any fruit?
Sure. I'll say that some of your rations is
Do I
a little
have
bit
an
of dried
apple?
fruit. Yeah.
Oh, you're really about to put an apple in that rug?
I put an apple on the owl bear's mouth. Of course I am. Why wouldn't I? Look how gorgeous he looks. He's a man of many presentations. Now, we should get going, really.
I never want to see a rug like that again.
I hope I do.
I start walking out.
What? Yeah, you guys exit the building.
Real quick, before as the two of them walk out the door, I just kind of look towards their direction. I look back towards the drunk, passed out dwarf on the couch.
He's a human.
Oh, human? Oh,
yeah.
Even worse. And I just walk over. I take out like a single gold piece and just place it on his chest as he's as he's just laying on the couch.
He just sits there and just.
I just walk away and catch up
before falling back asleep. Yeah, you guys all exit. Again, another crisp morning. A little bit colder than it has been since the storm front came through. It's been fairly chill, and then this morning has been the coldest that you guys have felt this year. And you begin going through, and you look over, and you can see just on the eastern side of the mountain. So on the right side of the mountain. There is, or not on the right side, but in the distance on the mountain range as it continues past, you can see the sun beginning to rise in the east. And Athala, this massive city built halfway into the mountain, arises in front of you guys as you look up at it, seemingly almost bigger than it was yesterday. Now you're looking at the front of it, not just seeing half of it from the side profile, but actually looking at it head on and seeing just how wide it spans and how tall it goes. This is by far the biggest city that any of you guys have been to. And so you begin making your way towards it, which does not help with its size at all. It just continues to get bigger and bigger as you go up towards it.
Melora is visibly uncomfortable.
Does Kathyr notice this?
She's visibly uncomfortable.
I just kind of take a moment and kind of just place a hand on her shoulder and just look. I know we just met, and you don't have to take any advice I ever have. Just breathe. Just keep walking. Don't look at people. Don't pay them any mind. Just, we are here and just trying to do our thing.
Alright. I can do that.
And Kathyr will keep moving forward and catch up to Havel.
Okay.
I'll keep walking, but I'm I mean, as I said, I'm visibly uncomfortable, but I'm also, the things that are around me are so weird, and I also tend to fiddle with things and accidentally break them. So with that in mind, I'm trying to keep to myself, but perhaps I might see something and try to touch it, and then it just breaks, and then I just try to run away.
She's like a kid at an antique shop.
Yeah.
Thankfully, nature is fairly tough, and it only takes breaking one cornstalk or stepping on one soybean plant before you kind of get the sense of what it can take.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, were you gonna say something, Ryan?
I'm not leading anymore. I am behind.
I am.
Yeah, I'll probably end up trying to stick closer to Melora than Havel.
So here's the thing. So and I say this to the group. We're going to get about, I'd like to say about 100 paces, and you guys are going to make yourself scarce. I'm going to go into the city, and I'm going to retrieve the necessary things to make our lovely woodsman here a little less likely to get spotted. And when I return, we are going to clean you up a little bit and make you indistinguishable. Understood? It's not a question.
Alright.
As we're approaching, is there like a gate?
Yeah, you can see there's one large gate in the center with a pillar going up over it that looks to be going into a watchtower. And you can see that there is iron bars that can be lowered, but they look to have not been lowered in quite some time, keeping this gate wide open that you can see in the distance.
I tell you what, Havel. As soon as we enter the city, Melora and I will just find a dark, sketchy alleyway or inn or something. Some place that we can maybe just have a bit of privacy. Not have to worry about other people keeping an eye on us. While Melora and I just wait.
I suppose, if it'll make you a bit more comfortable to be within the walls. These watchtowers don't necessarily bode well for our chances, but I severely hope that the guards didn't necessarily notify the rest of their regime of you.
As I said, they didn't see me. I snuck in and out of the camp in a flash. I don't even think they know who to look for.
Are you entirely sure of that?
Aye.
Entirely?
Aye.
Does she look like she's
I'm very
lying?
good.
Roll an insight check. Havel. As you guys are beginning to approach, you can see that there's a lot of people that are going towards the city. You can see that many of the farmers seem to be going to, and a lot of travelers are coming out of the Ocleron Pass or coming out of the long road and merging all in the center place and begin making their way into the gates.
Are there usually this many people?
Actually, there's usually more.
I get used to it. I rolled a 17, DM.
She seems to be pretty genuine. She seems like she really does believe that she wasn't caught or seen.
I was very careful.
Okay.
No, actually, secretly, Melora was caught, and this is just a figment of our imagination.
By the way,
Melora isn't here.
By the way, I put my earrings and necklace back on. For 1, 2. All right, Melora.
Aye.
Just on the off chance, I'm not saying that you're not a sneak or that you're not capable of keeping yourself hidden and unseen, but just on the off chance and for the sake of everyone's safety, because I don't want you getting locked up in a cell. All right, you're a free spirit, you're someone that's used to the open wilds, and you wouldn't necessarily do well in a jail cell. So why don't you, does your cloak have a hood? I can't tell with your hair.
I think it does. I believe so. It does.
Put the hood up, keep your head low. Don't look anyone in the eye if you don't have to, and then follow Kathyr as soon as you get in. I'm going to go a separate way, and I'm going to find us something. Perhaps a place to stay or of the likes, but just for the meantimes, please. For my sake, for my own mental clarity, I actually don't want you guys to get arrested, believe it or not. I'm not a fan of that.
I begrudgingly move my hair out of the way so that the hood fits over it. I have a lot of it, and I try to kind of stick it back. I'm just thinking to myself, what a pain it's going to be to have to de-rat my hair and re-braid it later, because the hood is just going to mess all the curls up. But I do it I'm told, even though I really didn't like it. I put the hood on, and I'm like, all right, fine.
While she did that, Kathyr will take his hair, like, kind of just take out and just put it back, pull it back, because he himself also has long hair.
Yes, he does.
And I will also throw out my hood.
And Havel slicks his hair back, parts his eyebrows, and goes, "Showtime," and then just walks forward with confidence.
Oh, brother.
Beautiful. As you guys begin walking forward, it doesn't take very long, probably about 10 minutes before you catch up to the crowd. And there is hundreds of people, thousands of people that are streaming into the city right now. You can see that there are several guards along the path, them in their very regal, well-built, full-plate armor, maroon accents, and the maroon sash with the gold trim going around the side. You can see on the left plate, their shoulder plate goes down and over their chest, creating kind of almost a shield-esque type position when resting. And on that, you can see a probably about 4-inch in diameter circle with a 3-headed hydra that's body goes out to the left and then curls back around with the middle head breathing fire. What you recognize, Ryan, as the symbol of Athala, or Ocleron in general, I should say. These guards, all well-dressed, seemingly very nonchalant. This seems to be a time of celebration. They're happy to have people in the city. They're not really looking for anyone. Every once in a while, you'll see a guard helping someone find their way or looking through some papers, stuff like that. But nobody stops you as you begin making your way towards the gate and eventually through it, where you get funneled into or you go through the bottleneck that is the gate before expanding out into the largest enclosed space you guys have ever been in. You can see it is several hundred yards back to the inner wall with as you look out left and right, east and west, you can see that there are what looks to be 4 rows of housing, quote unquote, that go in and about. Once you get past these 2 rather large plazas, one that's very, very massive with a large fountain in the middle, and then you can see a little further down there is what looks to be like a recessed amphitheater down in the front off to your right as well that you've been going through. As you look into it, you can see people cheering and jaunting. You can see people singing. There are groups traveling about. There are vendors that are screaming their different products that they have. There are different poets standing on top of boxes. There are several people in garbs of gray and blue with their hoods pulled over their faces that seem to be holding a circular symbol with 1 circle in the middle and then these 2 rimmed circles over it. Those people standing about, milling about, talking to different people throughout it. There are hundreds, thousands, more people than any of you have ever seen, the closest being to it back in Marencia for you, Ryan. Otherwise, both you, Melora, and you, Kathyr, have not seen this many people in one group in your entire lives.
Solid.
Yeah, going through... It's easy to get lost in the crowd, and it's very quick that you guys begin to hold on to each other just to keep inside of each other and not get shoved or separated as you're being milled into the city.
I breathe in deeply and just go, "Smells like home." Oh. Are you all new to cities? Well, Melora, you are, but Kathyr, an experience.
Well, my home was not quite this big.
I don't think I've ever seen so many people in one space together at one time.
I will take this moment to get out my personal identification.
Okay.
More or less. The papers that I have for identification, at least.
Okay, yeah.
What are those?
Well, hopefully an easy way in.
Yeah, you guys begin making your way through, and nobody asks for papers. Nobody stops you at this moment. You can see this gate is probably about 40 feet wide, and it's filled to the brim with people shoving their way through, with several guards in and around, but nobody has the ability to stop anyone or top for papers. It seems like that's not going to be an issue for you guys.
Looking at the faces of people, does it seem like people are like more excited or panicked?
Excited. They're excited to be in here.
Festival.
Yeah, they are excited to be getting in and having the food and enjoying the celebrations. You can see a lot of these folks seem to be coming from out of town. A lot of them have they carry garbs of kind of a darker green, which you recognize, Ryan, as a lot more of the official colors of Bravania, East Bravania, just east of Oclaron, the neighboring country.
A lot of people traveling from very far away.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
This is a very well sought after celebration and festival.
It appears that this is a very popular event. Got a lot of people from all over the country or the continent, I suppose, coming.
It's just wonderful timing.
And what is this advance that people are celebrating?
I assume that it's some sort of autumn festival. I will say this though: we can play this to our advantage. Do I know how long the festival lasts? Do I have like a rough idea?
Roll a history check.
Yeah, I'm okay at those, I think. Not when I roll like that. That's only an 11.
Mr. DM, I personally, Kathyr's never heard of this festival, right?
No.
No, I didn't think so. I'm from very far away.
Melora is like, what's a festival?
Ryan, you've heard of the Damnia festival, but it ranges. It's always on the first day of Demore to celebrate Demarius bringing a cooling sensation to Athala and such. But the amount of time that it lasts for varies. There are some that it kind of depends on the season. There are some where if it was an especially hot summer, it's been known to last for upwards of a week of people celebrating and enjoying themselves. There have been other festivals that have lasted only a day. It just kind of depends. You're not 100% sure on how long this festival is scheduled to last.
So I don't have an exact time estimate as to how long this is going to go on, but it could last up to a week, and that means that we have a week. No. We have a week where A, we can get shit-faced, and B, you will likely not get arrested, even if you were seen. They probably don't even frankly care that you're here.
I'm not sure if I would prefer getting arrested over talking and being around a lot of people. All right.
You don't have to talk to anyone at all. That's not a thing that you have to do. Do we want to find an inn? I am starving. It is breakfast and I haven't eaten yet.
That would be a good idea.
Wonderful. Okay.
You guys begin. You guys get through the gate, and you see those two large plazas, and begin making your way about. And we're actually going to hop back over to the other side. You three, specifically the two in the inn, awaken to a lot of noise. You can hear people singing, you can hear lots of people shouting, people bustling about, you can hear vendors and poets and musicians, you can hear priests preaching, you could hear all the sounds of a city that you would hear in different parts of it all at the same time. And it's very, very loud. It actually is what wakes you guys up. You can smell the food coming in and the people coming in and all the beautiful benefits and drawbacks that come with having so many people in one place. There is definitely a stench to it of people that have been traveling from afar who haven't gotten to shower in recent days. But there's also this sense of freshly baked foods, fine wines being poured, everything like that. And as you guys listen closely, you can hear the dining area beneath you is bustling with people. You can hear shouting and yelling and laughter. There is one bard in the corner playing music that you can hear. And you both awake to this. Tarak, as you awake in the plaza, you almost awake to getting Yeah, you almost awake to getting shoved and jostled out of the way as people begin rushing into the plaza with tents and with places to set up, trying to set up a camp of some sort. You quickly realize that you're being surrounded by people that you don't know and people of all different ethnicities and sizes and shapes. And it's a rather unheard of experience for you.
Well, this is the worst. I will make my way to the inn, and I'll just kind of stand and like look through the door to see if they've come downstairs yet.
Yeah, you go and you make your way towards the inn, at which point there's a line around the building and into the plaza of what you would assume people are waiting for food. And as you peek your head in, you can see that the whole dining area is filled to the brim with people. And the two shopkeepers, along with their several servers, are working relentlessly to try and satiate this crowd, to little avail, as it's just that many people. But you don't see Riniya and Edward quite down there yet.
How climbable is this building?
Fairly.
Do I know the general area? I've been to their room.
Yeah, I'd say
Is
that you
there
can
a
figure out where
window?
their room is. Yeah. If you go around the corner, you know that the building, when you enter it, to your right is the dining area and to your left is the bar, and then the stairs go up and then back over to the area above it. So if you were to go over and up the stairs, you know that Riniya is on the front of the building and Edward's on the back of the building. So whoever you want to go to.
I'll go to Riniya's. And I'll try to climb up so I can knock on the window.
Yeah, you can see there's a little there's kind of like a porch, that covered porch that you can try and get on top of with the windows up above it. And so you can just reach up and grab that porch, as it's only about 10 feet high. Go ahead and just roll athletics to see if you can give yourself a nice muscle up to get up there.
17.
Yeah, you just pull and go into a muscle up before standing up on this, and then you can see Riniya just beginning to awake in her room.
I rapidly knock on the window.
Riniya, as you're like already like kind of disoriented with the noise, suddenly there's a big old rap on your window as you turn and see the still unfamiliar orcish face of Tarak as his hood kind of frames him in, looking through your window.
Face goes from startled to confused to, okay, we're doing this. And she goes over to the window.
Riniya, can you hear me through this strange material?
Can I open the window?
Yeah, you can slide it up.
I open it.
Oh, that's strange. It appears as though your lands are under siege. The people have barricaded themselves within the city. They are setting up fortifications. I fear that the witch has gone on a rampage. We must escape quickly before we all die.
Does it look like he can like fit through the window?
No, definitely not.
They are lining up. They are looking for rations within the inn. I fear for all of our safety. We must find Samuel quickly and escape within the hour.
Well, I agree with the finding Samuel quickly, but this is normal. It's okay. We're not under attack.
It is normal for your city to be under siege?
We're not under siege. There's a festival. It starts today.
A festival what?
A festival?
Gesundheit.
Thank you. A lot of people gather around and enjoy each other and celebrate things.
So you have had victory in war recently.
Oh, okay. Why don't you go back down carefully? I will get Edward and we will meet you outside, okay?
Take care. I shall meet you on the lower ground.
Okay.
I'll just kind of lower myself back down.
Easy.
And she's gonna watch and make sure he gets down okay.
He gets down. He just kind of like goes over and he sits down and then flips over before kind of falling back down, catching himself on the lip.
Okay. And I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna head out of my room and knock on Edward's door.
So when you leave your room, and whichever way you have to turn to look towards the entrance of the hallway from the main room, Edward's just standing there, but he's kind of like peeking around the doorway into the room full of people.
Edward.
I look back and I look amazed and terrified. I say, Riniya, this is insanity. This is how they celebrate things? I mean, I think it's somewhat wonderful. There's song, there's dance, there's poetry, but I mean, it's so uncivilized. How can you have civilized practices in such of an uncivilized manner? It blows my mind. This is amazing. But also, how are we going to get through this room and exit this building?
We walk.
There's no room.
And I'm
gonna rub up against countless people. I'll smell terrible.
You won't smell terrible.
I will smell terrible. Do you smell this room?
It smells fairly bad. Although it is countered by the smell of freshly baked food quite well.
Perhaps we could escape through the kitchen?
I don't think that the innkeepers here will appreciate that.
Okay, well, I'll give them a little something. It'll be fine. Edward would like to try to find the entrance to the kitchen if there is one from the hallway.
Okay, you go down the staircase, at which point, if you look immediately to your right, you can see the bar, and you can see that ginger-haired woman frantically trying to keep people served. If you look past it, you can see that there is 2 people in the kitchen now, a couple over the ovens, just managing to try and cook things. One of them goes over and begins chopping vegetables. It seems like they have a large vat of what you could assume is maybe gravy or mashed potatoes, some sort of gray, fairly gelatinous liquid, it looks like. And you can see they're all very, very busy. You can't see past the kitchen, but that's what you can see.
Okay, I wave Riniya over and I say, Riniya.
She just walks over.
I say, okay, listen. I'm going to create a distraction and we'll just walk through. Like nothing has ever happened. We'll just go in and out and we won't have to touch all of those people and we can just leave. Okay? How does that sound? Yes? Yes? Please? I swear to God.
What do you mean by
I don't want
distraction?
to walk. I don't. Listen, I'll handle it. And I pull out my little flute.
Okay.
And I go, and by doing so, I will cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
And kind of by where the lady with the red hair is, I would assume she's kind of at the front by the bar.
Yeah, she's behind the bar.
I'm gonna make a big, make it look like a big, tankard just fell over and then spilled on the counter.
Okay. She looks over that and goes, "I shit," before running and grabbing a rag, and she begins to mop it up.
Okay, I grab Riniya's arm and I say, "Go, go, go, go!" And I start kind of running, crouching, running quickly through the kitchen, trying to sneak through.
So you go back behind the bar, at which point you can see there's a half wall that kind of covers the kitchen. And you go back into the kitchen where there's the man and his halfling friend who was serving earlier, at which point they both look at you and you look about and you see that there's no door back here. And they both go, "Oi! Get out of here!" Before he shakes a spatula at you and begins almost chasing you out from behind the bar.
That did not go as planned. I'm so sorry. I thought this was the bathroom. And I scamper on out.
Riniya's gonna pause for a moment. I'm sorry, and she's gonna leave 3 silver on on whatever surface is nearby and follow him.
Well, that didn't work. I suppose we have to go through the big room.
Yeah, we will.
You lead the way, I guess? Unless you want me to, but I really don't want to.
I'll lead the way. And and she's gonna start walking through and like gently kind of moving people to try and give Edward a little more room, but still like not trying to like shove them.
Yeah. Riniya begins politely making her way through, and most people are pretty respectful of it. There doesn't seem to be anybody that's in such a big hurry or such a frustrated state that they get mad at you for just making your way through. So you begin weaving your way through, much like you do, like kind of side, like walking between people, like when you're at a concert or big through a crowd. She begins doing this, and Edward, you wait for just a second before she starts making her way through, before following, and then she just disappears. You can't see her anymore.
Riniya? Oh, goodness. Oh, golly. And I just picture a bunch of people bumping into me at this point. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. What would I do? What would I do? Is there a nearby table?
Not that's open.
Is there a nearby table?
Yes.
I would like to attempt to climb onto the table.
Okay. So the closest table that you can see, there's one that has 5 people around it, most of them human. In fact, all of them human. All of them enjoying food and laughing and enjoying drinks. It looks like they have biscuits and gravy in front of them, all enjoying a good glass of ale. And you go up and you just go, excuse me, and like step on one of their thighs to kind of step up, and then step onto the table before they all look at you. And one of them just stands up and grabs your shirt and throws you down onto the ground. Get off the table.
Oh! How could you? That hurt.
You stepped on my thigh.
Well, I'm looking for my friend.
So go look somewhere else, not on top of my table. You nearly kicked over my food.
I guess I'm sorry.
As you should be. On your way. Get out of here.
Do you own this table?
Yes. Go.
Fine. Riniya. And I look for a second table.
At this point in time, Tarak has gotten worried that they've been killed by marauders or something. Somehow they've died. So he'll just shove us away and just kind of bust through the doors.
You bust through the doors, standing nice and tall, and this bustling, hurrying room goes quiet for just a second. They all look at you before all returning to their food and their drink.
Riniya, Edward, do I see any of them? Do I have like
as
an
soon as
angle?
you go through the door, Riniya has made her way through the crowd and just like pops up right in front of you out of the crowd.
Oh, thank goodness, Riniya, you're okay.
Yeah, and I look back. Oh no.
He's been trampled. He's dead. Oh, far. Well, we'll have to recover the body. I start pushing my way through the crowd looking for him.
I cast a minor illusion once more and make like a small firework above where I am. And I'm like, I'm right here.
The fires of war.
Yeah. You begin shoving your way through, and most people step out of your way before you even touch them, realizing just how large you are, before almost a little bit of a path clears. So you see Edward on the ground with his finger up in the air.
Riniya's following behind. Excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me.
Before you can see Edward just almost quivering as you arrive, Tarak.
Heavens be praised, he's alive. I just pick him up. It's in a very, like, once again, I just cradle him like a babe.
I look up at him when he does that and I say, I hate you.
Say, it doesn't matter, you're alive. I was afraid that these monsters got you.
Well,
we must away quickly. And I go just reverse direction. I say, Riniya, quickly. If you can't run, I shall carry you.
Thank you. I can walk.
I bust through the doors the other direction this time.
Yeah, you guys make your way out of the inn and into the plaza where it's a little bit less congested. There's a lot more kind of performers about, people that aren't quite as crowded and congested, especially now that they're not trying to get food. And it's breathable out here.
I set Edward down.
I'm just like stone-faced.
Are you two okay?
Oh, I am completely fine. I fear for the lives of most people here.
I've had some pretty bad nightmares. And I don't know if I've ever been more afraid for my life than I was in that tavern. I never want to go back. I can't believe I'm here. Can we please just find this flipping kid and get on with our lives?
I mean, that's a little rude, but...
Well, you know what, Tarak? Picking me up like a child was a little rude. Okay?
You were lying on the ground. I feared your legs were broken.
Okay. Riniya, what's the next move?
Tarak, what's the next move?
I look. Are there any suspicious figures in this crowd?
What would you define as suspicious as an orc in a foreign country?
Non-human people. Because humans are really common here.
Yep.
Anyone that looks like a witch.
You look out in the crowd and you can see one hunched over woman with gray hair, kind of, and a cane making her way across the plaza.
Quickly, pull out your card. How bright does it shine?
Just
I pull it out.
Just think about your next action very carefully.
You pull out the card and it's not any brighter than it was last night when you guys arrived at the inn.
Well, I guess it's worth a shot.
What?
We should follow her.
What?
She will lead us back to Samuel. I'm sure of it.
I look over. I look over to see what they're talking about.
You look over, you can see that there is a hunched over woman. She currently just has a cloak on to try and stay warm. You can't see her face, but you can just see grayed hair hanging down as she's hunched over with a cane, traveling across the plaza back towards the shop towards the general direction of the shop that you had gone to.
Oh, no. I don't think she's what we're looking for.
I shall trust your input, although I do not believe there's any way to possibly live that long without fey magic at work.
Fair point.
And exactly how long do you think she's lived for?
Probably 2,000 years.
Okay.
Just off of a base glance. It would require examination of some sort, but the hair. How long do you live for?
Me?
I mean, anyone, honestly. I've only known orcs. Our average lifespan, we die around the age of 26. The oldest one I've ever met was 40.
Okay. Well, how old are you now?
13.
Edward just tries to stifle a laugh.
We are fully grown by the age of 12. How long does it take you?
I
mean, you are Lug Gijakishi, so I imagine it would be quite a long time for you.
What was that?
But
what did you call me?
Lug Gijakishi. A flourish in the blood. It translates to elf in your language.
Oh, okay. Cool, I guess. Yes, I do have elf in my blood, which means I live a whole lot longer than 40 years.
Like
my
what,
mother,
like
who knows how long she'll
70?
live.
Like 80?
Probably more.
Riniya just kind of scratches her head and looks around.
As you look around, you can see there's many people about. Lots of people. Like I said, there are poets and musicians and performers. What's most colorful to you, what's most noticing to you is how much brighter the lower ring seems with just the decorations and how much cleaner it looks all in the course of a night. Between the ribbons that go across, the blue and the gray and the silver ribbons that go across. You can see that in the plaza, there's actually that circular symbol that you can see a couple of these cloaked figures carrying. That circular figure symbol has been painted on the plaza with the center circle, with that center circle making up the fountain. In this very nice bright blue color with silver trim around it. It just really livens up this typically very dreary and drab portion of the city.
She's gonna give a little smile and then turn back and be like, I feel like as lovely as all of this is, we're running out of time.
I would agree. This, what you called a festival? It is perhaps quite troublesome. What is the purpose of this? Why are these people? I've heard tales of them, but I did not believe it would be this tumultuous.
Well, as soon as we find Samuel, we'll have you experience it yourself. How about that?
I'm not experiencing it now. There's music and dancing. It's quite wonderful.
Yes, but there's also activities and food and lots of chatter, but that's not important right now.
Yes. Now, we have quite literally 0 leads, as far as I can tell, other than this letter. Shall we go to the place where it shone brightest the last and create a perpendicular walking motion, just to see if it grows brighter in certain directions?
We can certainly try that, but I mean, good luck with those crowds. And I'm not letting you carry me.
I mean, if you can walk, I would encourage it.
I can walk.
So you guys begin to go back in the direction, eventually finding your way. As you make your way down, you know that there are 2 staircases that come around towards the front gate, just a little ways past the plaza. Like, then go up and over the plaza and go up to the 2, the east and west gate that go up to the 2nd level. Edward, you know this especially. And as you guys begin making your way over, after about 30 minutes of going back and forth and really trying to like pinpoint the location, you eventually settle on this undered archway of this staircase that comes around, and you can see there is a small door that is there that seems to be kind of the general location of where it shines brightest, but it is locked currently.
Well,
Tarak,
I don't like archways. This is bad omen.
I really, really, really desperately hope this is the pretty girl that I met in the shop and not some crazy witch, because I'm not going to lie, I'm quite terrified.
It's probably
Riniya.
both, honestly. Witches can shapeshift at will.
What?
Well, yes, you didn't... I forget. You aren't taught these things.
No.
Yes,
I'm
they
not...
can present themselves as young, beautiful animals, however they would seek best fit to creep into your dreams and kill you in your sleep.
Riniya's gonna just kind of lean over to Edwin and be like, "It's okay, I didn't know that either."
Oh, okay, good. Well, she did seem a bit suspicious. How are we going to get through this door, or do we... What are we going to do? Because I've never faced a witch. I can cast some small spells, but I don't think I can cast witch level spells. So I'm not sure how exactly we're going to get through this one. Unless you have some magic plan, Tarak.
Well, it would be rude to break down the door.
But it's a witch, though.
Oh yes, but it's just someone's
child.
domicile.
Well, it would be rude to steal a child.
No, that would be illegal.
Well, better to be
your
rude than
point-
illegal. And I go and I try to kick down the door.
Go ahead and make an athletics check.
19.
Okay, you go through and you go to bust down the door and kick it rather hard. And as soon as you kick it, you can tell this is probably about 4 inches thick of solid oak. And you go in and kick this, and you feel your whole leg almost like shiver and jostle as you can feel yourself rattling around trying to bust down this door, and it does not budge.
I just turn around
That seemed painful.
a little bit.
Well, if it is a witch, then most likely they have it magically enchanted in some way. I'm sure they would never leave their door unguarded, especially next to an
Let me
archway.
try something. So I'm looking at the spell Mage Hand right now.
Okay.
And it says I can. A spectral floating hand appears at a point I choose within range. It never mentions sight.
Okay.
And it is dispelled if it's more than 30 feet away from me, or if I, dispel it. So I'm wondering, can I like feel around with Mage Hand? Like, can I cast it on the other side of this door and try to feel for like something on the other side to let us in?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Like, crazy.
Nope. Roll a perception check with disadvantage.
Okay. Cool.
Riniya's gonna go over to Tarak while this is happening. That was supposed to be cooler than it was.
I think you looked very strong, actually. It was a very, very good kick.
And she's gonna turn and look back.
And I look back after doing my little woobly thing, and I say, well, it was worth a shot because I got nothing. It's just a door, I guess. There's no handle, nothing, as far as I can tell. Well, I'm out of ideals. Tarak, you wanna try to like bust it down?
I'll turn to Riniya and I say, would you like to assist me? I will do my best. I am not as strong as the rest of my brethren, but I can try.
I can help.
Wait, how are you helping?
1, 2, ha!
Are you guys both kicking together?
Yeah.
Okay, you can either both roll an athletics check, or one of you can roll with advantage.
I'll give it a shot with advantage if you want, Lydia.
Go for it.
Oh. Hey.
Yay!
That was a 20 meet the DC.
So you both go in, and you feel the door creak as you go and kick it this time, but it still doesn't budge quite as much as you'd like. Like, you can feel it creak a little bit, but it's not quite. It doesn't bust in. You don't break the latch on it or anything like that.
Okay.
Definitely enchanted.
Stand back. Stand back.
Stand back. Please defeat it with your witchcraft.
I'm going to try something. I haven't done this many times, but I'm going to try it and see if it does anything. I take a deep breath, and I like take a stance. I go, ha! And when I do that, I cast Thunder Wave on the door.
Okay.
The door has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me just double check some stuff real quick.
If it fails, it's pushed 10 feet. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I gave it my all. I was just afraid.
Guys, Critical Role is supposed to be the one with door issues. They've already marketed that end of the D&D spectrum.
Look, all right.
Doors is one of my weaknesses.
Nothing can stop an orc except a door.
That's true. Okay, to be fair, Tarak's heart was only half in it.
So you go ha, and halfway through you going ha, there's this booming crack of thunder as this explosion of dust erupts from Edward, covering him in dust for just a moment that you guys can't even see him. All of the confetti and decorations and everything around him within about 15-foot cube surrounding him blows away, and this door reaches in, and you can actually see that the door is like pushed in a good ways, but it's not open quite yet.
Woo! Now that had some kick.
The dust settles, and all three of you are covered in dirt and dust.
Oh,
well,
dirty, but it was almost worth it. The rush. Oh man!
I'll be honest. You surprised me.
I surprised myself.
That was very well done. Very well done, Edward.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
okay. Well, now
it appears as though you've made a dent.
Yes. I don't...
One last try? For good time's sake?
No, are you asking me to do that again?
No. I was asking
good.
Riniya if she'd like to attempt. Maybe it's illusioned at all.
Yes,
I don't suppose
like
there's a
that.
window, actually, come to think of it.
There is no window. This is just a doorway, just a door in the middle of the inner wall, beneath the archway.
Well, Shall we, Riniya? One last kick for good old time's sake?
Why not?
Together. Yeah.
Normally, if we're doing this one more time, I'd have you guys roll with disadvantage. So I'll just have you guys, one of you do a flat roll, since you guys get advantage.
Riniya, how confident are you in your athletic ability? Because I've got a +4. I'm just gonna tell you the numbers now. All right.
You got it.
It's not stellar, but it's what I've got. No.
So you go in. Riniya kind of just says like, "Hey, like this looks like the weak spot. You should kick here," and you go in, and but you've never been one to love the physical side of life. You've been one to enjoy the smell of flowers and the way the breeze feels, and you go and you kick as much as your heart can give, and it doesn't move at all.
I apologize. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff.
Okay, let's think. We could wait. We could try to find others to help us get in here, but that seems kind of sketchy. We're like, oh, we're looking for a witch, and they're like, why?
Well, because it's a witch.
Well, I suppose, but nonetheless, this is hard. This is so hard.
Well, hold on.
I could be sitting on a chair in my garden with a glass of wine, but no, I'm standing here covered in dust, trying to get in a weird door for a witch.
Now, come to think of it, witches, right?
Mm-hmm.
They love just ruining people's lives, doing all sorts of... And this is a festival, which has lots of people. Festival?
Just go.
It is a celebration of sorts. There's so many people around here. She has to have some, familiars hidden amongst the crowds, stealing children, poisoning people's drinks. If we wander around enough, I'm sure we'll find something relatively that is totally familiar.
Riniya is going to let out a sigh, and you can see she just looks defeated. And she's just gonna go down and kind of just knock on the door. Hello?
So, your plan, Tarak, since that didn't work, your plan, Tarak, is to wander the streets looking for someone who might know something, or a fake person, right? Yes?
That pretty much sums it up.
Or I could do this, and I look over, is there some kind of shop? Some kind of shop with a table?
There are many.
Edward's mad. Edward just walks up to the shop and says, "Can I borrow your table very quickly? I won't take it anywhere. Please. Please."
You can see you've approached a gnomish woman that looks to be having a heyday selling flowers and bouquets as people want to be able to celebrate and share this with her. And she has one little round table that is currently off in the corner that has several well-made bouquets and flower displays on it. And she kind of looks over it and she goes, "You want my table?"
"I just want to use it for a moment. Please."
To sit down, or are you planning on taking it?
"I will give you a gold if you let me use it for 1 moment. I won't take it anywhere. I won't do anything. Nothing will be harmed. I just need it. I need it so badly."
3 gold.
"Fine, 3 gold, sure." And
sold. She sticks out her hand.
I pull out 3 gold. There you go. There's 3 gold.
She immediately goes over and takes off a couple bouquets.
Edward stands on the table. And he looks at the crowd in anger and says, "Excuse me, travelers."
You can see that there's a couple people that stop. Several people keep moving by, but there's a few people that stop and look up at you.
"I am looking for a child named Samuel. I am tired. I am dirty. I've come a long way and I don't want to be here. Please, if anybody knows anything about a child named Samuel or a witch, come and talk to me." And I step off the table and I say, "Thank you." And I wait.
She nods. At which point, you can see this little kid comes up to you, with black hair, and it's this little boy, and he goes, My brother's name is Samuel.
Your brother's name is Samuel. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Is he missing?
No.
Oh, dang. Wait. Hold on. I bring him over to Riniya, and I say, do you recognize this kid?
You've never seen this kid before in your life.
You just grabbed a kid?
He came to me.
Hey, mister, could you let go of my wrist? That kind of hurts.
I'm sorry. I'm just... Okay, you can go. I don't think you know anything. Whatever. Your brother... Whatever.
We go through. The kid just scampers off into the crowd before disappearing. Sorry, we just lost Aaron for just a second. Oh no.
We did lose Aaron.
Oh no. We'll keep going and he'll come back, I'm sure. As you're going through, the kid scampers off, and you guys are left to your means. We'll hop back over to Riniya, not Riniya, but Melora and Ryan and all of them. You give me just 1 second. See if that works. So you guys have made your way into the city, realizing that you probably don't quite need a disguise or anything, and realizing that you probably have a fair amount of time that you can just enjoy yourselves. What would you like to do?
A good question. I never thought I'd get this far. Kathyr.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
There he is.
Oh, good. That means I didn't have to fix anything.
Except that Havel and Tarak are now switched.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's easier to fix.
Don't worry, the classic internet has decided to fail me again. Moment has occurred.
Beautiful. Wouldn't it be a first stream without technical difficulties, right?
Be my life without everything breaking.
Beautiful.
All right.
Kathyr?
Yes.
So I suppose the thing that I'm going to ask you is, what exactly are you looking for, information-wise?
Well, I suppose just starting at a general library, specifically of the gods and the pantheon.
Are you so is there? Can you not give me specifics?
Well, okay. I am concerned about the gods that hold dominion over death.
Is that all?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm trying to understand who they are and why they care about me for some reason. And I know that you have your own strange whatever view, but I am on this journey and I'm not going to just give up just because. Anyway.
I'm going to be completely honest. I frankly don't care what you do with the majority of your livelihood. If you decide that you want to give it to the gods, more power to you, I suppose. You doing all right, Melora, by the way? Everything all right?
I'm a bit overstimulated, but I suppose I'm fine.
Sure. Are you hungry? Do you want food? We should probably go get food, actually. We were in the
I
middle of doing
suppose
that.
I could use some, yeah.
DM, the closest inn.
You look across that main courtyard and you can see a line coming out of this building and wrapping around the courtyard. That says the 12 Cranes Inn in front of it.
You know, I'm not too hungry. I'm not hungry enough for that.
I can agree with that one.
The line is out of the building.
Quick.
Just as you guys are standing here trying to talk and figure out a plan, you guys are constantly being bumped and jostled and kind of thrown about. Not in like a rude way of people like trying to like shove you or be rude. It's just the way you are standing and the amount of people there are. It's just impossible not to get rubbed up against and moved about.
Here, let's go towards the end at least. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
all the
I don't know what
technical
happened.
difficulties.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything.
So you guys make your way in towards the end, kind of shoving your way through the crowd. And as you're going by, you can see, as you make your way through the first kind of couple of rows, you can see that the back alleyways seem to be a lot clearer. But you continue through that plaza, heading towards that inn at least. And once you actually get into the plaza and you're out of the road, it is a lot less congested and it's much easier to move about.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
DM question.
Yeah.
Do I see any signs for a,
Roll a perception check.
For nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah, no, there are too many people. I rolled that's a nat one, everyone.
As you're looking about, it is definitely hard to see who's here, what they're doing.
Do I know of any correspondent fountains?
Not specifically in Athala.
Why is my life so hard? Havel says this out loud, by the way.
What is it?
What's the matter?
Well, here the problem is. So I want to help you all. Really, I do. I really do. But the amount of no, is it so hard to believe that I actually want to help you all?
Well, we are complete strangers.
You did save me though from a storm.
I
suppose that's fair.
I would have been washed away and probably killed by bandits by then if it weren't for you. So, thank you for that. No, and I do want to help you. I want to help you both immensely. Trust me, I'm a man of charity. But, small issue. There are too many people, and I can't get my bearings. So, we're going to do something here. There's no other inn. Nothing? It's all busy?
Not at this particular plaza.
Freaking lunch rush.
Okay. Well, if you guys are willing, I suppose we could go to the library now. Wait on.
That's weird.
Interesting.
So we could go to the library. That is a very good point. You could go to the library. I actually, now that I think about it, I just remembered there is something I actually really need to take care of. Oh, by the gods, there is something I really need to take care of. So
Okay, give me 1 second.
I can't see anything. There's nothing? None? No one?
There's
not a single one?
There's nobody that you can see that is of what you're looking for.
No one.
No one.
This is a big city. What the heck? Okay. Melora, if you could. Okay. So weird weird request. How good are your eyes?
I'm very good.
Very good, very good. Right. Do you, by any chance, see like anything that resembles? You know what? It's fine.
Oh, what do you want me to look for?
No. You know it. That would be a very bad idea, Havel. That would be a very bad. Never mind. Thank you so much for wanting to assist me. Oh, actually, Kathyr.
Yes.
You're looking for more information on the gods. Why don't we go to a temple? Find someone of holy nature. I don't know.
Well, that's a good idea, I suppose.
Well, the problem is though, I don't do you really think that you'll find information about old gods of death in a library?
That's a fair point.
Is there a rather large library here, DM, in the city?
Roll a history check.
Oh God! Every time. Why? I need to switch dice. That was another nat 1, guys. I'm not having a good time right now.
So, as you're thinking about it, this is not a city that you have been in. You haven't traveled here before. You knew vaguely of it and kind of being the capital of your neighboring country and stuff like that, but you do not remember anything.
Okay.
Kathyr, as you're going through, you came here specifically for a religious reason, knowing that this is one of the more prestigious areas to worship the human gods and so on and so forth. And so you know that somewhere in this city there are temples and areas for just about every one of the gods.
Okay, well, I guess, how do I do this? Cause I doubt if I gave a description of who I was looking for, nobody could tell me and put me in the right direction. I guess I will, just like, is there like any sort of guard nearby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see there's one. He looks to be probably young, pretty young human man, maybe 19, 20, like barely just made it into the guards. In that full plate armor with the gold, with the maroon trimmed and the sash and all that good stuff as I described earlier.
Yeah.
Standing there with the scraggly beard and shaggy blonde hair.
I'll just kind of casually wander over to him and just politely ask, guard, could I ask a question of you? You're familiar with the area, with the town?
Yes, I am. What are you looking for?
How are the temples here situated?
Second level, either side. Go up the stairs. And he points. You can see pretty far down to the west, or not actually to the east. You can see there's a staircase that begins lead up to the second level.
Right. Thank you. And I'll make my way back over to Havel and Melora.
Hey DM, did we hear the clap of thunder?
Yes.
Hey.
Okay.
Wait, how long ago was that?
How long ago was it?
It was probably about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting. Didn't know that they got rain here. So, did you figure anything out? I guess.
He said that the temples were on the second level on either side of the city.
Oh. Okay. Well, do we want to go to the temples? Did you ask him about a library? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know where the library could be.
Well, to be honest, I like the idea of the temple better.
Okay, that's fair. Do we want to head to a temple, Melora?
Yeah, I just kind of look over, just like.
I didn't care much where we go.
Almost sheepishly look over to Melora.
I didn't care much where we go. I have to go. Where do you guys go? I quite liked the idea of being in an alley by ourselves, but if we need to go somewhere now, we can go to a temple. That's fine.
I mean, I quite like the idea of an alley as well, but we're kind of in a strange predicament.
Is there? Well, I doubt it.
No, let's just go find a temple. We're sitting here doing nothing. Let's go find a temple. What else?
All right.
Hey.
You guys begin heading east, and quickly find that it's much easier to stick to the alleys to make your way east than it is to make your way through the main road. And so you guys can compromise and be going through the alleys. Yes, Ryan?
Keeping an eye out. Just any
Yeah, got it. I just poked my eye. Oops.
Oh no.
I went to go tap my nose and I poked my eye. Definitely keeping an eye out. Edward and Tarak, along with Riniya. You guys have been standing here for just a little bit, kind of in the general vicinity of that door, not really knowing what to do. Tarak has begun milling about looking for familiars. And you guys have kind of made your way a little ways west. Before Riniya, you look back, as you guys have been kind of wandering about and making your way, you look back and you can actually see the door open, and you can see a woman and two men step out. It's hard to see their faces. You can't quite tell, but you see a woman and two men step out before closing the door and making their way through the crowd and then into an alley on the far way.
I'm sorry. My dog broke in. What happened all before that?
So you guys have just kind of it's been a few minutes. You guys have been sitting about, hanging about before just kind of wandering about. You guys kind of vaguely started looking for familiars and just trying to figure out something to do, as nobody was really being able to help you and everything like that. Before, as you made your way slightly west, a little bit away from the door, you kind of looked back over your shoulder and you saw a woman and two men exiting that door, make their way across the road and into that far alley.
Okay, I'm following
So, Mr.
them.
DM, did we all see this?
Just the three of you.
Just the three of us. Okay. I turn to Tarak for sure, and I say, "Thank God, someone. The door opened. Did you see the people came out? We have to go. We have to do something."
Yeah, we should follow them.
Riniya's already following them.
Look, she's already going. She has the right idea. Quickly now.
Well,
As you guys go to follow
I need you
them,
to go so I can follow you.
Tarak begins leading the way with Edward closely behind him. Kind of, you know how like the aerodynamics of a car, there's always that pocket behind them that stays kind of streamlined. Edward's hanging out in that pocket right behind Tarak as he's making his way through, as he's following Riniya. And you guys begin following them back through, and you can vaguely see the tailcoats of those people moving about before they cut through another alley, and you begin chasing around them before eventually you keep going around. You guys continue through and they go a little further west before what looks like they almost do a double back, as you can't quite tell. Again, you never saw their faces, so you're trying to just follow these through, and it looks like they almost began to pick up that they were being followed, and it seems like they did a double back, and you guys begin heading back east following these three people. Are you guys going to approach them? You guys are beginning to make gains on them.
I cast disguise self real quick.
Okay. What do you make yourself look like?
And I make myself look like just a normal marketplace shops person.
What?
But I'm gonna be decked out. Wait, so disguise self, I can also change my clothing, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I'm going to also look like I'm in like freaking party garb.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to kind of like make my way through the crowd in front of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I'm gonna just... You first.
You begin making your way through the crowd and get in front of them.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. And then I just freaking I pretend like I'm bumped by a person and I just lay myself out in front of them. I'm like, oh, and I like fall on the path and I'm like, oh, I'm hurt. I'm so sorry. And I'm like clearly blocking their way.
Melora, Havel, and Kathyr, as you guys are beginning to sneak your way through this alley, you can kind of feel like there's a couple people behind you before this kind of scraggly common man decked out in potty gear splays out in front of you, screaming about how he's hurt and how he needs help.
Havel steps over him.
At their legs.
So, question:
What
how
are you
well
on about?
do I see that he actually fell, or do I think that they like shoved him to the ground? Like how good of a sight did I have on this?
Roll a perception check.
I would love nothing more.
From my perspective, DM, how much does this look like this is a setup for me to be robbed?
Aaron, you can't quite tell. He might have fallen and he might have gotten shoved. You're not quite sure. Havel, roll an insight check.
Can I also do the same?
Yes.
Let's use this die.
I will real quick
15?
divine sense.
Okay. Remind me again, what is...
A fiend or undead.
Undead. Or undead. Okay. Okay. You don't sense anything Faith Fiend or undead. But you go through... Ryan, you think about this, and this is pretty cliche. Two people behind, the distraction in front. You're kind of like, whoa. Same thing for you, Drew. Like you not quite for the same sense, but it seems like there's something a little fishy over here.
I draw my sword.
Same.
I see swords.
Yeah.
I draw my sword, face the two behind us, and I go, everyone check their coin purses.
Well,
I point at him and
I'm
say,
still trying-
Riniya, the witch's puppets, they've drawn blades!
Riniya pulls out her mace.
I'm just trying to get
hold on.
Edward off of my legs. He said he was grabbing legs. I'm just trying to what are you on about? Will you get off me? Because I didn't like being touched.
By this point, I stand up and I stand in front of them and I'm backing up, trying to slow them down. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I've just been going on a rager, and I'm so sorry. And I'm going very slow in front of them,
What is this all about?
Act like a.
Do you mind?
I just
we're
fell.
trying to get to
I
the
just
temple.
fell.
Where is Samuel?
I look
sorry.
Samuel?
behind them.
What?
Their memories must have been wiped by the witch. Quickly, we must free them.
Riniya's holding her mace and is
Wait.
so confused.
What are you talking about? What witch are you talking about?
What is going on?
I very
Who are
cautiously,
you?
with
I
one
dropped
arm,
the
I have
spell.
no weapons out. I'll approach, kind of like
Nope.
approaching
Weapons
a
still
wild
out.
animal.
Weapons
I'll
still
say,
out, hand on
Same.
coin purse.
You think that you are in a terrible situation. You're not. Your mind has been poisoned by the witch's magic.
Is it just me, or is this orc actually talking?
Okay, we just got here. I didn't know what you're on about. I didn't know what happened. I don't know who's Samuel, but we just got here and we're just trying to get through to a temple or something. I didn't know, but why are you...
Sure, you're
thought
going
that's
after
your
the
way.
clerics. That was your real goal the whole time. I'm onto your
sorry?
tricks. Of course, I should have
Tell
known
us-
that witches hate the divine.
Riniya's slowly
us
lowering
where-
her mace.
This is
Tell
not
us where
what I signed up
Samuel
for.
is.
I have never heard
Tell
of a
us where
Samuel.
Samuel
Who's
is.
Samuel?
Why are you saying it so weird? Samuel.
Yeah, he is saying it
What?
kind of weird.
You're saying it weird.
He's saying Samuel.
What is that all about?
Riniya is just going to... Can I make just an insight check on all
Same.
three of them?
Yes, both of you make insight checks.
Oof.
I'm still arguing about how he said it weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you get, Drew?
it's one of those things where
What?
5.
5? This
I got nothing.
this is sketch, bro. You're these people show up, they jump in front of you, they got
They're
weapons
accusing
drawn,
us
they're
of working
spewing
with
about
the
witches'
witch.
magic.
Yeah.
This is sketch, bro. What you get, Renai?
19.
Oh, these guys have no clue. They're so confused.
Now, are you going to leave us be? We're just.
I didn't
literally
have
trying
any
to get to the
money.
temple.
Boys. They're not gonna help us.
What? Wait,
Look,
okay.
Hold on now.
What guild are you a part of? This is the worst organized job I've ever seen in my entire life. What?
Oh, what are you?
I haven't killed
Also,
trying
why-
to mug us right now?
And why? Wait, what?
I didn't have any money.
What? Why are you standing in front of us right
Okay.
now?
Okay, back up. Why did you walk out of that door?
Riniya just points to Edward.
We needed to go through.
To continue on our way. It's a door. You do realize what a door does, right?
You go through it. You open it up and you go through it.
Aye.
Edward.
I take
Edward.
out my card and look at it.
Yes.
The card isn't any. It's about the same distance to that normally it would be. It's glowing about the same dimness that it was a little ways away because you're not too far away from that door. I will point out to the three of you who crossed through the archway. You passed through the gate, not the door. Just saying. So.
Yeah, we don't even know what you're
There may
talking
have
about
been a
with the door.
misunderstanding.
Aye.
Understand.
I don't.
Oh, I think we're wrong.
Yes, you very much were.
You
Aye.
think you're wrong.
Do you
Yes,
normally
we're-
just pick out 3 random people that look semi-suspicious and
I
just
swear,
choose to get in the way?
I do believe that my lawyers are going to hear about this, actually.
Well, my lawyers will beat your lawyers.
All
but
right,
that's
all right.
besides the
No lawyers need to get involved. Now, all I want to know is what you're doing, tripping in front of people and trying to stop them. And who's Samuel? And why do you need help? And why did you choose us? And I don't like being here and I don't like people. So if you could just tell me what you want so we can be on our way, then I would greatly prefer that. Thank you.
If you had any smarts, you would listen to the lady.
Yeah, she has a short fuse.
Edward looks at Riniya, or not Riniya. Edward looks at Melora and says, "You are so loud." Also, Riniya,
I cover his mouth.
explain because I was also thrown into this.
I just cover his mouth.
Excuse me. Riniya, explain.
I just stare deeply at him. I'm just like, choose your words very carefully.
I would if I were you.
Yes,
now, I
that's
look to
a good point.
Riniya, or Tarak. Now, does this
she
one speak for you
seems to
two?
have more sense.
Riniya, you're sure that this was a misunderstanding?
I don't know what's going on. And I just go over and I just grab Edward and pull him back and I'm like, my apologies.
Now, where are you looking for?
Aye.
There's a little boy. His name's Samuel. He was taken and I'm trying to find him.
Oh, all right.
Alright,
And you think that a witch took him?
I know a witch took him.
All right. Well, that is very concerning. Well, I mean, we didn't know anything about it, but I mean, I know you're on your way to the temple, but this sounds much more interesting. And besides, a child is involved. I feel like we should step in.
Well, I would agree with her. Actually, if there is someone who needs some help from a witch,
What?
I've never fought a witch before, but I
Aye,
suppose
nor
there's
have I.
6 of us. If that is our goal.
Why is it that I always get stuck having to save children? Why is that such a common thing?
Well,
I just...
Can I actually see their appearances?
What do you mean their appearances?
I mean,
So,
we do have our hoods over.
Yeah,
At this point,
how well can I
Melora,
see these?
I don't.
My hood back.
at this
I
point,
don't have a
Melora's
hood.
pulled her hood back and she lets her hair out and she's like, "Listen, I may not have many soft spots, but one of them I do have is for children. So if we have the time, I'd be happy to help you."
Now that you guys have all pulled back your cloaks and relaxed just a little bit, we're going to take this moment to actually describe our characters. If you guys want to go through everyone except for Edward, as he's not currently looking like himself.
I did drop this spell. I
Okay,
said it
perfect.
amidst the chaos.
Awesome. We'll just go in order. Riniya, Kathyr, Havel, Edward, Melora, Tarak.
Riniya is a very tall elf. Well, not very tall, but a tall elf. She has very thick black hair that she usually keeps tied in a loose ponytail. She has these green eyes, and she just has a very approachable demeanor to her, especially now that she feels horrible for scaring these people. But yeah.
Then next up, Kathyr.
Yes,
right.
next up,
so
Kathyr.
Kathyr is a fairly tall and well-built blue-skinned elf. Looks a bit with dark, almost purple skin with actually like dark, almost navy blue long hair, kind of pulled back in a little bit of a ponytail right now, with a single scar that you see that runs down from about his cheekbone down past his chin and down his neck a little bit. Wearing heavy armor and very much confused and concerned.
Next is going to be Havel.
So Havel is like a 6'2", ridiculously well-dressed tiefling with 2 horns that loop around onto the sides, and then 2 very long, prominent, almost like antelope-style horns coming up the top. He has black hair, kind of slicked back and pulled behind him, just a little above shoulder length. He's, I mean, admittedly, he looks like nobility, but he definitely is not acting like it. He also has 2 very obvious things, is that he has a necklace with a 5-sided like pendant or coin on it, and then matching earrings to go with. And he's currently pointing a rapier at all of you. Still very untrusting.
Edward, you're next.
All right. Edward is a young man looking wood elf. He doesn't look young, but he doesn't look old by any means. And he is just above average height. He has very well kept hair that is kind of pushed back in kind of a flumph. He has very kind, welcoming green eyes, and he's rather handsome. He has a very dark shadow of a beard, and it's just barely poking out though, and very dark hair. He has very dark hair, and he has this deep purple vest with it's almost a burgundy with beautiful golden pattern that's rather like nature inspired, like plant like. And then he has golden cord going around the little hem of the vest, with big baggy white sleeves, and then form-fitting dark green pants with kind of tall form-fitting dark brown leather boots. He definitely looks like he has money, but he also looks very kind at first sight.
Nice.
Melora, says his first word.
Melora is a wood elf with fair skin and freckles all across her face. Her hair is a bright red, and it's out, but there are certain braids going on back with flowers and other kind of leaves or plants weaved into it. And she wears dark green with a like leather brown vest with a pocket that actually currently you might see a little red squirrel kind of poking out. And she wears boots that pretty good quality, but are worn, obviously. And she wears a quiver on her back that's actually very nice compared to the rest of her getup, and a bow as well.
Very nice. And finally, Tarak.
Tarak is almost 7 feet tall. He's probably somewhere around between 6'9" to 6'11", somewhere around there. He's really big, but it isn't muscle. It's actually a bit more. He's kind of just overweight, honestly. There's muscle underneath, but it isn't super prevalent. His most notable feature is he has a massive scar that covers his face from the left side of his cheek up to around his ear that looks almost like an acid scar, so you can see his teeth through it. He seems not aggressive, but the scar doesn't help to that. And when he sees the rest of you unhood yourselves, you immediately hear a kind of like quick intake of breath, just a real quick like, and then him almost chuckle to himself.
Man, you all had really awesome descriptions. I feel lame.
It's beautiful. They can see your character.
No, Riniya is the loveliest of us all. We all know.
It's true.
I don't know. Havel has a pretty good contender on that.
With you guys. Go ahead, Drew.
I was just going to say, it is interesting to see an orc all the way over here.
Aye.
You think I'm interesting? It's pretty much a walking storybook with you three.
Well, that's actually quite fair. My people live very far away.
I mean, how common is it to find a Vishgruvogal, a Hokur, Lur, Gijak Ishi, and a Drok all in the same party?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't speak
Sorry,
Gargoyle.
I sometimes forget.
He does that sometimes.
An autumn daughter, accompanied by an iron elf, and you, a demon.
Well, thank you.
Anyway, do you think we could get out of the middle of the road? I kind of, there's a lot of people here. I would rather be somewhere a little more quiet, if that's all right with everyone.
You guys are
Yes.
actually in that back
please.
alley.
Oh, all right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Alright.
you're not being trampled by people quite yet.
Great.
I would appreciate it, indeed, as well. But you say you're willing to help us find Samuel.
Aye,
Okay.
if there's a child involved, I wouldn't mind helping.
I feel like we probably deserve a little bit more of an explanation, don't you think?
I mean,
agree.
yes, that's fair.
Okay.
Considering that your appearance has completely changed, and I point towards Edward.
Me? Oh, yes. I can do some special things.
It's magic
I
and
kinda
probably
like
one of the most basic
lift my
forms.
eyebrows.
Don't.
Oh,
Anyways.
please, like you can do any magic.
I mage hand and I'm like, you're not the only one that's special, buddy.
And he
Whoa,
comes with
I
demon magic
cast-
as well.
I also cast mage hand, and I'm like, and I wave my mage hand at him.
I make
Alright.
a minor illusion of a mage hand.
Edward is loving this. He's so happy.
By the way, I am Kathyr.
Oh, introductions. I am Tarak.
I'm Melora. This is Ginger. She kind
You
of pokes
see-
her head out.
Oh,
A little sleepy
So
squirrel,
cute.
just like
oh my
kinda stick
goodness.
her head out and just kind of like nod, and then go back down.
You'll see more of her later, I'm sure, but she's very tired.
She's adorable.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh wow. Oh, well, I'm Edward, I suppose. I'm Edward. And
Yeah.
fellows, if that means anything to you.
I'm sure it means something to you.
That it does, and everyone else here.
Nope.
What's next?
You? And I point towards Riniya.
It's Riniya.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. That's quite a bonny name you got there. So, do you have a plan? What exactly did we have to do with what you were doing before?
Well, we actually have no leads. You are the closest thing that we had to something that might actually apply to what we're looking for. I don't suppose that you have any way to track a witch. You are
Actually-
an autumn daughter, of course. It wouldn't be that
Actually, I think I might have at least the resource that could get us close.
Of course, the demon child. How could I not expect this?
Oh, so don't
Such
call
a
me a
fool.
demon child. My name is Havel. I do have a name. Jeez.
DM question.
Yeah.
Would, Melora has a lot of experience in tracking. I mean, I do not specialize in Fae, however, but would I perhaps have heard stories or anything from my mother about witches?
Finally,
You've heard-
someone who's educated here. Thank goodness.
You've heard a couple different stories of witches, specifically with similar stories, stealing children and luring kids with mimicking cries and, sounding like animals before taking them to be eaten or sacrificed or whatever they're going to be used for.
Right.
So this is very much like the stuff out of what your mother would tell you to make you be quiet.
To make me be quiet and not wander around at night.
Exactly.
So in these stories, do you think I ever heard about how you could find a child once it's been taken, or was that part kind of left out so that I did not
That was-
chance it?
that was usually left out.
Yeah.
Do,
All right.
Do you have anything that's tied to the child? Fabric, a memento. I don't know, a comb.
Riniya, anything? No. I suppose I have this. I pull out the card and I say, this seems to go. Oh, I guess there's some context involved. I went down to a shop, saw a pretty girl, and then later went back. And then Riniya, she slammed into me and then punched me in the face. And then there was this toad. I'm trying to say, this place that I went, this girl gave me this thing that seems to go brighter wherever she is. And we're pretty sure that that girl was the witch. So, whenever this glows brighter, we're assuming we're getting closer to the witch. Does that make sense? Was I clear?
When is the last time you went to the shop?
Like yesterday, I believe.
All right.
Yeah,
Why don't we go back to the shop?
Aye, that sounds like aye.
Let's go back to the shop. They might have returned.
We could. It's kind of
It's actually a very wise point.
Beautiful. You guys begin making your way back where you came, towards the entrance, and then past the gate. And with you all together moving towards the shop,
Don't you do it.
we're gonna end the first session.
Come on.
The first session down.
Look at you guys.
Wow, what?
Only took
Absolutely
3.5
killed
hours to get the party together. We're
Right.
ready to rock.
it. We got it. You guys are there. You got through the character descriptions. We did it. Okay?
We're not
Checked off
we're
every box.
at least we're not the party that like hyper fixated on a door.
Hey,
I know.
that was a beefy door.
He's
alright?
having a hard time right now.
There's a big old
Oh
iron
my
latch
gosh.
on it. Like it's hard to get through, and it's a big, thick door. Like
That's so.
you know,
In
if it was
3
me-
sessions, and she's gotten nowhere.
I love torturing you.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. At least we have more help now for when we actually face this witch question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark.
Hopefully, if you guys ever make it there.
Yeah.
Ha
Less likely that Edward
We're
will
just
die.
we're never gonna find this person.
Awesome.
30 sessions in, we're level 1. Riniya still hasn't found anything.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody who stuck around and watched. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll try and get those figured out. Thank you for sticking with us through them. We're super excited to keep going and keep this story going. So please keep coming back. You can find us on all of our social media links, thepaperdungeon.com. The VODs will be on our YouTube channel along with the podcast version of this, which you can find on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or if you just go to Podbean, that sends you to all the links and stuff like that. So it works out really, really well. Yeah, definitely keep checking us out. We'll be here every Monday at least, if not more so throughout the week. But yeah, anything that you guys want to say now that you're done with the first session?
That's what
I'm afraid.
Theoretically, sometime within the next 2 months, we should be starting up some other either like a small like one-shot thing. I think we're planning on like one-shot Wednesdays or something like that, or some other things along those lines. I think I don't want to spoil anything too much, but Hannah and Lydia might have something cool coming up lately,
Yeah,
so
definitely.
keep an eye out
Yeah,
for
definitely stay
other
tuned.
cool stuff that we do.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely stay tuned for what we end up releasing and stuff like that. We do have other content ideas in mind. It's just getting everything figured out and set up and planned. So yeah, definitely stick around to hear about when we're going to be starting those up. Definitely. Anything else?
I have something to say.
Go for it, Grant.
We're planning on doing a stream for a very, very long time. And so this is the first stream, the first session of a potentially long grand story. And I honestly can't wait personally to experience that story with all of these incredible role players and the awesome DM. Even though we had some rough technical things this session, I think we're going to look back and be very, very happy with it. So thank you everyone who's watching and all of the cast members for making this dream come true.
100%. Cool. Well, if we don't have anything else to say, we're going to go ahead and sign off for tonight. Thanks for sticking around, and Godspeed, Dungeoneers.
Yes.
Yes.
He
See you next week,
said it!
Dungeoneers.
He
Yes.
said it!
It happened. Good luck, Godspeed.
Oh, yes.
Oh man.
I'm so happy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're
lives.
going to take off. Bye.
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 Everybody. See you
Bye.
next week, Dungeoneers.